Yeah, I'm kind of off.
What's up, brother? The laptop shut off? Oh, there goes John. Down John goes.
Down for the count.
Down for the count.
Get your boogie on.
What's going on, man?
It's Tuesday night. That's what's going on.
Tuesday night, March 25th, I believe today is.
5.
March 25th, no Wi-Fi again. Lovely.
We gotta look into that. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, man. It used to be, you used to be able to click a button.
Do we know why it went away?
It's just got an error next to it. It says Motorola.
Yeah, I'm saying we don't have any ideas why. No?
I have no idea. But it hasn't worked in about 2 weeks, so we're going to try to work on fixing that. We don't get on the laptop all that often.
Just for pay-per-views is when I use it.
Right. So we will look in, or we can get a second cord, hook it up to the router, bring that in, and make sure that, we don't have to use...
That's what sucks, is the way the room's set up. We have 2 internet cords, but the one that we need to reach this far is for the stream.
Right.
The other one doesn't reach for the laptop, so...
Alright. So anyway,
if we were to move everything to that side of the room, it's a big-ass room. You can't tell looking on camera.
You know what? We should probably redo everything, We should
I
probably...
could care less where I'm put it.
Set it up, and it would look the exact same on camera, but...
yeah,
but we could,
that's what people don't understand. This is about maybe a third of the room right here that you're looking at.
Right,
we have a whole backdrop there, but then there's tons of shit over there.
There's a lot of room that we could set things up. But, so yeah, it's I got it. It's WrestleMania season.
Yes.
And normally during WrestleMania season, traffic numbers on the website go up.
Traditionally speaking, yes.
And I mean, we're still 2 weeks away. Less than 2 weeks. About 12 days away.
I'll be right back. Where's the other chair at?
Are you serious? Oh, it's squeaking?
Squeaking like a mug.
My bad, dude. I set up the chairs tonight.
I never know which one it is. Alright, it's the one with the blue ass. I'll remember that.
Alright. But no, it's traffic on the website has not. It's been down for the amount of news that you put up. I mean, it's kind of a struggle right now with advertising rates the way they are. I mean, I expected so much more, and you can tell that within the last 1 or 2 days, especially yesterday, they started opening up talents to media, where you're seeing Ted DiBiase, Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, Hulk Hogan. Hulk
Hogan's everywhere.
Was everywhere yesterday. John Cena as well. I mean, John Cena was on the Fox network yesterday and basically ran the gauntlet, man, on Fox Business and ABC as well.
Live
I think.
with Michael and
that's on. Yeah, that was ABC in the morning hours. But even last night, he was on these shows that were taped earlier in the day, and it was one
of the reasons they wanted Hogan so bad. He's a guy that can get on to shows that a lot of their guys can't get on.
Right.
Everybody wants to talk to Hulk Hogan,
And that's all. If you any of these Hogan interviews that he's been doing, I'm the guest host of WrestleMania. I'm coming back home.
A lot more than he did for TNA, which he had ownership in. You would think he would have
He came out and he said today that Triple H called him and said, "When are you coming home?"
He didn't call him. He ran into him at a charity event. Yeah, I wrote about it this morning. He ran into him at a charity event and said, "Yeah, when are you coming home?" And Hogan thought that Vince didn't want him, and Triple H assured him that he did. And, and apparently, while all this is going on, he's standing right next to the TNA media relations guy. So the TNA guy's standing there watching him get lured to the big show.
No shit, yeah. But so all these interviews, I mean, it's going to get busier and busier and busier. If you thought yesterday, and today, especially yesterday, today as well, though, it's just been crazy. It's been nonstop on the websites, but it's only going to get, as we get closer, more and more is going to come out. And then the breaking news, right before we came on the air here tonight, WWE main event airing now on the network. They ran this big angle last night on Raw where Christian was in a fatal 4-way match. Big E was out on commentary, right?
Didn't do commentary.
But he was out on the outside, right?
Yeah, he was sitting at ringside.
Right. Didn't say anything. And then, Christian wound up winning this match. And
I thought that was surprising in itself.
I did too.
He was the least big star. Who was it? It was
Ziggler. Was way over.
Yeah.
Was it Cesaro and Swag?
No, they did something with who'd they work? They worked Ryback and
Ryback.
No. That was somebody. That was Los Matadors beat Rybaxel.
Okay.
Because of the Shield interference.
I don't remember who was in the Fade. I know it was Christian, Dolph Ziggler, and
I'm drawing a blank.
2 other people. But we can load up the chat room. We're going to get into Monday Night Raw here in a second. But it's just, Christian wound up winning the match, and then he was supposed to go on to WWE Main Event tonight and, have a shot at Big E's IC title. And WWE.com put up on their website just a couple of hours ago that big news, backstage TV tapings, Christian is not going to lace up and go in the ring tonight. So this whole angle that they did on Raw last night is, and there's got to be a reason for it. I mean, are they going to run an angle on Main Event, or what is the reason for Christian not being there? We know that Christian, and it's probably an angle. It's more than likely an angle to where they're gonna run something. You've got to tune into Main Event to find out why Christian is not on the show. But we know that Christian has been unhappy in WWE. There's talk that when his contract expires, he may be leaving the company. We know that Vince McMahon never been a big fan of him. But I mean, Vince thinks he's ugly.
He thinks he's ugly.
Vince thinks he's an ugly dude, and
he
has never liked him.
He wants pretty people on camera. That's why I never really liked Jim Ross. And
Christian's a good-looking cat, man. Not to sound,
he's an average-looking guy. I don't think he's particularly ugly or particularly attractive, but I don't think there's like some big thing where God, he's ugly as shit. We can't have him as our poster.
Right.
I see that with Daniel Bryan because of the beard, the hair, and all that.
I get that.
It makes sense.
But
they didn't help us out. I know Del Rio. They said was one of the other guys. There's still one missing. I can't fucking remember.
You get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com.
Motherfucking.com/chat,
WZROnline.com/chat. But there's got to be a reason why, and somebody will tell us in the chat room. People that are watching, Sheamus was the other.
That was the other guy. Okay.
But there's got to be a reason why they did that whole angle on Raw, and then they get to SmackDown today, and they say, you know what? Probably changed their mind, but
I would assume it's a situation where I think there's more interest, or they believe there's more interest in not let's announce a title match.
Right.
But if we cancel it, people will tune in to be like, oh, what happened? What's going on?
Right. Well, the first thing that came to my mind is...
They're trying different things. They tried 2 title matches was the first one when they went live. They had the Divas title and I think it was either IC or US title.
Right.
I think it was US.
Yeah, there were 2 title matches.
Yeah, and then they tried an Undertaker thing.
The Undertaker last week.
Now they're trying a big angle instead of a match or an appearance, so they're just trying different stuff to get people... So they can run tests with live streaming. The first thing that came to my mind was he injured on Raw? Is there a drug test failure? Something like that. But it's probably, like I said, it's probably an angle that they're going to follow up tonight on a Main Event. These guys will let us know. I didn't even read it. I put the article up, but I just copied WWE. What did they say?
It said WWE, there's big news, backstage SmackDown tapings.
Like what was the explanation?
Talk of the town that Christian is not going to lace up his boots tonight. Find out the reason why.
All right, so
Christian is not going to.
I didn't know if they said he got injured or he pulled out of the match. Find out why he pulled out. Or...
No. It was just he's not going to lace up his boots tonight, and why is that? It's breaking news backstage at the SmackDown taping. So we'll let you guys know what happens with Christian WWE SmackDown. I know we got to get into it. We don't have any beers.
No
tonight.
Beers this week.
No beers.
First night in about 2 weeks we haven't had not only a couple beers, but we've been drinking like a lot of beers.
Yeah.
So you go from a lot of beers every day to none.
No beers.
And then you do a show.
That's it. Nothing.
Some energy missing. That's not there. Yeah.
Well, anyways, but
manufacturer.
We'll get into it, right? Park it up. You want to slap in the face?
Oh,
I thought you were going to give me. I thought you were going to give me.
I still owe you, I believe.
I don't think you do.
No, I think I got you back.
Yeah, right.
Some guy smacked the shit out of me the other night. Out of the blue.
Fuck
out of the blue. He just said, right across the face.
Get out of here.
Not a chop.
Didn't do that.
Fucking bitch smack.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So there's a big snowstorm about 200 miles to the east of here, out in Cape Cod.
They're getting flurries out there earlier.
There were some snow flurries. We're going into April, man, and it's still cold. But there's a major pattern change. It's coming up within the next week or so.
Exciting.
I think next week and the week after we're going to be in the 50s and 60s here in the Northeast. So all
that's exciting.
The snow that we have outside, the piles that are still left, yes.
See, now when you come on the air and you say, hey, we're going to have a 90-degree sunny day, then I'll be with you with the excitement.
Warm air is coming.
Yeah, there's nothing to me coming from Florida being excited about snow and fucking sleet and slosh and rain and ugly shit weather that's cold and
warm air is
coming. Can't do anything.
Pretty soon the pool's going to be open.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Throwing the football, you know what I mean?
Fucking girls. Yeah.
Girls?
I'll get us the valet for the show. You watch. God. I'll bring her right on over. Tuesday night camera.
Pimp Boone over here.
And we had Tiffany the Tits for a while there, remember?
We did.
I'll get us another one of them.
Yeah. Nobody ever saw her, though. She was just a voice.
They had pictures of her and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember, those were going around.
Right. We used to have Jackie, and then Jackie got angry at us. We tried to do that joke.
So apparently there's some chick fan in there that's talking about wanting to shag Brian Clark. That's what I was trying to fuck.
Oh, shag?
Yeah.
Shag is
it's like an English version of saying it. Like
really?
A British, Austin Powers.
Alright.
Yeah, but I was trying to figure out who it was, because it distracted me when you were talking earlier.
Who's the guy, Mr. Bombastic?
Shaggy.
Shaggy.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Shaggy?
Yeah.
That's what it was? Yeah.
They call me Mr. Loma Loma.
Alright, so we will get these plugs out of the way. We'll get into it on Monday.
Mr. Bombastic.
We're going to get into Monday Night Raw from last night. We're going to run that down. Hour numero dos. Taking the live phone calls and doing the rapid fire segment. Do some shout-outs here in just a little bit. So we'll... let's get to it. The official website of WZR TV Tuesdays, WZROnline.com. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well. Go to Facebook.com/WZR Army, YouTube.com/WZR Archive, and we're on Twitter as well. Just go to WZROnline.com, top navigation bar, drop down menu. It's got all the links to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right there. WZROnline.com, the official home of WZR TV Tuesdays. WZROnline.com. Check it out. Lots and lots of news up there over the last couple of days. Even the weekend, it was a busy time. Not much breaking news. There hasn't been breaking news in quite some time, man. No major breaking stories that we've had to provide
big
updates.
Stuff, but not not breaking news.
I think Vince is coming back, and we'll get into that when we talk about
Raw.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be back before Mania.
I think your scenario that you brought up last week, where you said, what do you think about this? During the Daniel Bryan versus Triple H match, Vince McMahon comes out and screws Triple H. Thus, Daniel Bryan goes to the main event. The following night on Raw, Vince is back. He came back at WrestleMania, and you didn't go this far with it.
I don't even remember saying
that. But you said that Vince would come out and screw Triple H out of the match, and I agreed with that. I said, I like that. I like that a lot. The following night on Raw, that's where you do up a follow-up where everybody knows Vince came and screwed Triple H at WrestleMania. So what's going to happen on Raw when Vince and Triple H come face-to-face? Triple H is going to want an explanation from Vince McMahon, and then you're going to get the whole start of the Triple H.
They've been playing the Seeds because they were calling Stephanie McMahon one of the principal owners of WWE for the longest time.
Right.
Then they stopped.
Right.
And then they started up again.
Right.
So that to me means probably, and they had that big thing with who could have helped Daniel Bryan do that Occupy Raw.
Right.
They had JBL saying Lawler must have helped him because they're in Memphis and he has the keys to the city in Memphis. Blah, blah, blah. But I think it would be, it would make more sense. Like, oh, okay, so Vince has been helping Bryan. Vince is pissed that Stephanie's calling herself principal owner. These guys are trying to take things over. It's still my company. I ain't gone yet.
Right.
The big authority battle. That was the whole point of setting up that authority thing.
Well, they were gonna do that going into WrestleMania, and
that was supposed to be the big culmination.
Right.
He comes back, fights for his company, and then at WrestleMania, a match for the company.
That's what it was. The whole thing was supposed to culminate at WrestleMania, and I think now the idea is the whole thing's going to begin at WrestleMania, and maybe it'll culminate at SummerSlam, where they
that's a long way away.
Yeah, but they had plans 4 or 5 months ago for Vince to return, which means if they started at WrestleMania, they could finish up at SummerSlam. They just,
there's somebody else that might be coming back at SummerSlam, but that's a Mr. Jonathan Coachman.
Oh, what's
said something about WWE fans. I got an announcement this summer. You guys are gonna.
But the way that I looked at that is he's gonna be at WWE headquarters for a DVD or something like that. He's got a radio gig at ESPN.
Yeah.
We know he's happy at ESPN. He's on SportsCenter. He's always talking about it on his Twitter.
Maybe he'll do a show on the network. Like host a show.
Could be that.
Yeah.
Could be if ESPN allows him to
I don't
do
see
that.
why they wouldn't.
But Coach if you look at his Twitter account, the dude is so happy to be at ESPN. He said that it was his dream job to land a gig at ESPN. Right.
Guy, yeah.
So he's got the gig at ESPN, and it just seems like maybe there's a little something extra. Maybe he's going to work on a DVD, or, like you said, something with the WWE Network where he would host a show, something like that.
But we got off topic too. What I was going to say was, I think it would have been, I think it was a wasted opportunity not to have Vince come back before Mania, because he would have been the perfect thing. Because I was thinking in my head, all right, maybe they stopped doing that because of the Daniel Bryan phenomenon. That took precedent over our big authority angle. That'll be the main event, fighting for the control of the company. It became more of a thing where they thought the fans wanted to see Daniel Bryan finally get the title, finally have his moment, so let's do that later. But they could have had Vince come back representing Bryan, or Bryan being Vince's representative in the actual match.
Right.
And then if he wins, not only does he win the title, but he saves the company, gets it away from the authority, gives it back to Vince.
Something like that,
the authority. That would have been a cool, because that would have got him over.
Right.
Even more, I think.
Right. No doubt. So we'll see what happens, man, when Vince comes back. And the funny thing is that if they go that route, and Vince McMahon siding with Daniel Bryan, it's actually Vince that's not a big fan, that's never been a big fan of Daniel Bryan, but felt that we've got to push this guy due to the crowd reactions and everything else. So it's kind of funny when you're, looking at it from Vince McMahon's standpoint, where the dude's going to return and actually further the push of Daniel Bryan when he's the main guy that,
You always say that he's the main guy. I don't know if that's true.
I think Triple H is more behind Daniel Bryan and knows that they both, I think, clearly know.
Once he started being a big deal and being somebody that moved the needle, moved merchandise, which, he's starting to do.
Right.
The ratings and stuff like that. But when he became like this big guy that got all the mainstream attention, the S chants on basketball games,
NCAA games, and football and everything
Super
else.
Bowl, the winning team does the goddamn yes thing on Twitter, and all that. So I think
you've got to run with it.
Anybody that makes them money or helps their business, even if they don't agree or envision them as the guy that should be in the spot, if they become this big thing that just takes off,
got to go with it.
They go, well, fuck it, if we,
Got to go with it. So
we like them now.
Right, exactly. All right, so we're going to run down Monday Night Raw here from top to bottom. We'll get through all that. Like I said, hour numero dos. We're going to be taking a live phone calls. I thought it was a good show. I liked what they did at the end with The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Although it was predictable, you knew as soon as there was nobody in the casket, all of a sudden he was going to appear.
It's the magician trick. Obviously, they roll it to the ring because he's in it when they roll it down.
Right.
They push it up against the ring.
Right.
And then there's a trap door there. He slides under the ring. They open it. Nobody there. He rolls back in. They open it again. Oh, here he is.
Right. Exactly.
They've done it a million times. So I got my beef with that segment. I thought.
All right. But I had said, we had a big debate. Somebody called up here last week and said, I'm not feeling it, man. There's something missing from the Undertaker-Brock Lesnar match. And I still feel that way, but the fact that they were face-to-face in the main event segment of Raw, and this is, it's not back-to-back weeks, but when Taker first returned on Raw, he was in that main event segment, right, with the whole signing.
The choke slam, yeah.
Right.
The second time he wasn't. That was thrown out in the second hour.
Right, and then he was on main event for the ratings type thing. Anyways, by the way, the WWE Network, they are, WWE's going to announce the official numbers for the network, and I got thinking to myself, well, they're going to announce these numbers and they're going to inflate them. It's not going to happen because they've got the shareholders and the people that own stock in WWE. So whatever number they announce the day after WrestleMania as far as network subscribers are concerned.
Well, there's ways you could spin the numbers, though.
You can spin them, no doubt, but people are saying, people that are close to the situation say that the network numbers are high.
Better than people were thinking,
They are better than what they had expected.
What do you think it's going to be?
Based on people saying that the numbers are higher than they anticipated. Not only that, but I think a lot of this is based off how many people sign up for WrestleMania.
That's the big deal.
That night. I mean, I think that they may want to.
How many people keep it after Mania? Once they've got their free $10 Mania, would they still want to pay for?
Well, they have to sign up for 6 months, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do they renew after that expires? Is what I'm saying. Do the numbers drop?
So I would say, I think come WrestleMania Day and WrestleMania night when the pay-per-view airs, I think they're going to get 300,000.
Just that day.
Just that day alone.
Signing up specifically for.
They're going to get. I think they're going to come out and they're going to say we've got either 1 million or over 1 million, based on what people are saying. People are saying that it's higher than they originally expected. Yeah. So I'm gonna. I'll
if it ain't 1 million, I would think people would be let down.
Right. You got to think it's got to be over 1 million.
You got to. If Mania normally does 1 million buys for $70,
hold the chat room up.
If you can't get 1 million people to pay 10 for it, then
exactly,
oof, you know.
Right.
But
and people, a lot of people that are close to the situation say that the numbers are higher than expected. So you've got to think 1 million. I mean, right now they may be at 600, 700,000, and they're expecting that when WrestleMania Day comes, we're going to get 3, 4. Maybe 500,000 people to sign up.
That was my other question.
On WrestleMania.
How many people do you think is going to buy Mania individually through Dish Network, DirecTV?
That's
whoever.
That's perfect leading.
What do you think that buy rate will be?
Now here's the deal. This network. All right. Most of these cable companies have said we're gonna air WrestleMania, but all of these cable companies, Dish Network,
DirecTV,
they're all gonna air WrestleMania. Dish Network originally said that they weren't going to air it, and then they came around. Listen, Dish Network sees money. They know it's WrestleMania. They see money. Now, the thing is how many people, like you said, are going to order it on the network as compared to on television. And then what these cable companies are saying is, following WrestleMania, we're going to take WWE pay-per-views on a case-by-case basis. Where, when we get to Extreme Rules, have all these people come WrestleMania, have all these people signed up for the network for $10 or whatever, and then the following month, you're gonna see Extreme Rules buy rate's gonna come in on these DirecTV and Dish Network, and it's gonna be like 100,000 buys because everybody,
if
that, because everybody's got it on the network, and then these cable companies are gonna say
way less than that,
maybe like 50,000, right? 50,000 somewhere around
before
there.
The network, it would do what, 200 maybe at a good show, 150,
180 maybe, like be 150.
Yeah, I think it's at least half.
So that's going to be cut in half because of the network, and then these cable companies are going to say, well, is it even worth it to carry these WWE
I think it's a bigger issue. I think it's a bigger issue. Look outside of WWE. If they get away with putting their pay-per-views on a $10 network, undercutting their deal with Dish, Direct, all these people, if they do that and get away with it, why wouldn't UFC do the same thing? Why wouldn't boxing do it? If we can give it away and take more than, because let's say they get 50% of every pay-per-view they sell from Direct. Their deal is, all right, it's a $70 show. Let's just say that it's a $70 show, 50-50 deal. Every $70, we get 35, you get 35. Now, if they say, well, fuck that, we're going to put it on our own network, and we get 100% of that motherfucking pie. Other than what they got to give Xbox and whatever that stuff is. But they get a bigger... If they get away with it, and the cable companies, DirecTV, they don't do nothing about it... UFC would be retarded not to do the same thing. Like, we can get better than 50% for every sale. We can get 100% of the money instead of giving them half.
And while we're on the subject of the WWE
they can't have that happen.
UFC's Fight Pass, they're much higher than, that's what people are saying, right?
Expected, yeah. Their expectations were low because they didn't really offer as much. WWE's are giving you everything, kitchen sink.
UFC went out and launched this Fight Pass, set their numbers fairly low because, like Boone said, they didn't have not nearly as much content as WWE did, but Fight Pass launched, people signed up, and UFC's numbers are higher than they expected. WWE Network, they launched it, these numbers are higher than expected. So, nobody's ever done this before. That's the thing. WWE's kind of leading the way. UFC is leading the way in their own, as far as content. But WWE is the main people that are leading that. I just think that so many people are going to sign up for WrestleMania that the following month, I would say Dish Network and DirecTV, they're going to carry WrestleMania and they're going to carry Extreme Rules, the pay-per-view following WrestleMania. At Extreme Rules, they're going to see those numbers. They're going to see those...
There you go.
At Extreme Rules, they're going to see those numbers come in and they're going to say, wow, it's not even worth it for us to carry these pay-per-views because we know everybody signed up on the network and they're going to view these pay-per-views from now on on the network and not on our network.
Even if they don't, what I'm saying is, they can't let them get away with it.
Right.
Mania they can't avoid because it's an enormous show. If they don't make it available, then they're missing out on a ton of bread.
Right.
After that, 100,000 people for a WWE show versus UFC doing 200, 300, 400,000, boxing doing 400, 500,000, whatever they get. If they're going to start doing their own network too and cutting out the then they're fucking screwed because they're going from millions of pay-per-views every couple months here and there to jack shit.
To nothing.
And it's because people are undercutting them, which in their contract they're not allowed to do, which is I still don't know how they get away with it.
Well, and don't think for 1 second...
How is WWE allowed to do this?
Don't think that for 1 second that UFC's not watching to see what happens at WrestleMania and Extreme Rules. Everybody's watching to see what happens at WrestleMania and to see what happens at Extreme Rules and the pay-per-views following that. And if WWE succeeds and the pay-per-view buy rate numbers for Comcast and for Dish Network and DirecTV, if they plummet,
and the subscriptions go up, then UFC is going to follow suit.
UFC will follow suit, and numerous any company that runs pay-per-views is going to follow suit.
Yeah, exactly. And Dana White's been saying that the president of the UFC, who don't know, he's been saying in interviews he would never do what WWE's doing. He's not going to put his pay-per-views on the network. If it works,
of course
he's going to do it. He'd be dumb not to get 100% of every pay-per-view instead of 50%.
It's 100% profit compared to 50% profit. Right. Well, it's double your money, but.
And you're building a service at the whole same time.
You say it's double your money, but people are paying $49 for a pay-per-view or $39 for a pay-per-view.
Double your profit.
You've got 200,000 people that are paying $49 for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
On the WWE Network, you've got 1-point-something million that are paying $10,
price.
But it equals out in the long run.
What I'm saying is UFC, if it works, UFC, this is what the pay-per-view companies can't let WWE do this, because if it works, UFC doesn't have to do a network and here $10. No, they can say, all right, now our network, because we're going to have pay-per-views, is $40.
Exactly.
So normally it would be $50 to watch the pay-per-view. You can get it for $40 by doing this.
Exactly.
They get every fucking penny of that $40 instead of 25 of the 50. Absolutely. So it's way more money.
I'm going to say, you asked me for a number. The day after WrestleMania, when they reveal these numbers for the WWE, I would say right now, I would say they have 500 to 600,000 subscribers on the network. I'm going to say after WrestleMania, I'm going to say we're up around 1.1, 1.2 million subscribers for the network. What do you think?
I'm going to say right now they're at about 400, maybe 500.
Sounds about right.
I say by the time Mania rolls around, 750. 800 maybe. I don't think they're hitting a million. But here's what I do think. I think they're going to announce a million. But I know, just because you say they can't lie, they can. They'd be fucking crazy to, because if they get caught, people are going to drop their shares.
Shareholders are going to say
maybe sue them, all this and that. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I don't know how all that stuff works. That doesn't mean they can't lie. They could still lie.
Well, they could use the free trial. Well, people signed up for a week free trial.
Give you a
counted those people in addition to
our total subscriptions since the thing started. Not what is it at right now.
What is it at right now?
Add them all up. Here's our number of subscriptions.
And that's what they will do. You're probably right.
That's what I meant when they say they could spin the numbers. They can give you a big number, but it really doesn't mean, okay, this is how many people have subscriptions right now.
They wanted to be at 1.5 million, over 1 million, closer to 1.5 million to be able to make a profit
by the end of the
WWE Network. In total, the amount of subscribers in total to be able to make a profit with the network.
After Mania?
Well, you got to remember, at the end of the year, this is only domestic right now. People in Canada, people in the United Kingdom,
a lot of them can get it though.
A lot of them
have.
Well, they have, but that's now been canceled.
Yeah, those are just the real hardcores.
Right,
it's probably the only ones that are going to.
But I'm saying, if you can get 1 million domestic subscribers to the network, think about when this thing launches in the UK and Canada and everywhere else next year. They may be close to 2 million people. If they're close to 2 million people worldwide when it's available to everybody, this thing has been a major success.
Phenomenal success. No, I think that the 2 million number was the break even for domestic. I think when they open up
domestic, when
they open up international, I think they need to hit like 3 or 4 or something like that, because it's going to cost way more to make it available and all this, and they need to staff it and all this and that. And
right.
I don't know. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. I'm not a number guy, but
we'll see. But I say the day after WrestleMania, I think we're going to be around 1 million, somewhere around 1 million, 1.1, 1.2, somewhere in there.
That would be a success.
Saying 800,000, right? So far, it would be a big success. And then not only that, but all those people that are going to sign up on WrestleMania Day, and then all those people that are going to want to watch the stream.
Can they handle it?
I can see it, man. That Monday morning, or even the night of WrestleMania, people are going to go crazy. People are going to go crazy. Yeah. The stream's skipping, the stream's down, this, that, and the other thing. I told you so, man. I told you. You know what I mean?
Ballsy move, yeah, to make their first big show.
Well, that's why they're trying to have the Undertaker and title matches on Main Event, and they're trying to test the streaming. But you're comparing Main Event with the Undertaker against WrestleMania. It's not even a fair comparison.
Their C TV show versus their biggest pay-per-view, their biggest event versus their C TV. You know.
Hey, at least if 100,000 people tune in to see Main Event, and I don't think it's that high, I don't know what it is.
What I like about this historically is that we always heard, you know, and I was a fan of airplane, train, something like that.
Helicopter.
But we always heard growing up, and I was a fan even then, even though I was a fucking baby and a little kid and shit. But you always hear WWE, Vince McMahon rolled the dice with WrestleMania 1.
Right.
He put it all on the line with WrestleMania 3. He took all these big risks where if it didn't work, he could have went under, all this and that. Historically speaking, we're in one of those moments now where I don't want to say they're going to go under if the network doesn't work, but it's a huge thing, it's a huge gamble, and it's kind of cool to like be around it and cover it and see what how it works.
Yeah,
because listen, historically, every time he's putting his nuts on the line, it's worked.
Well, the XFL.
Well, I'm talking about wrestling. I mean, he had the bodybuilding and the restaurant. And
I think it's working, man. I think they've got something successful right now. We'll see the day after WrestleMania with these numbers, but I feel like
you still didn't give me an estimate for the actual buy rate for the actual pay-per-view, not the network, but the...
Oh, WrestleMania?
So it's normally $1 million.
With what? With the network and the cable provider?
Forget the network. How many people are going to pay $70 just to watch that show and nothing else? Through DirecTV, through Dish Network, through
Comedy? Oh, God.
Usually, what, $1 million, right?
About WrestleMania, I would say... 250,000. Okay. I'm going to say 250,000, and the rest of them are all going to be on the WWE Network.
Sounds about right.
And if that's the case, good luck with the streaming, man. Good luck with the streaming.
A million people stream. Yeah, I mean, but you got to figure Major League Baseball, which is their tech people behind this.
Right.
They've got what, millions of subscribers right now. They got 2-3 million, whatever it is.
Right.
And they can do live shows without problems. Why
they can do it with the World Series?
With millions of people watching. Why can't?
This is the same company that told them time and time again, yo, when the network launches,
we got this.
Everything's good.
And then when it didn't work,
you don't think for 1 second that the MLB guys are telling them, yo, WrestleMania? Psst, no problem. We got it. WrestleMania comes around and WWE's like, yo, you motherfuckers.
Well, that's what I was going to say, that they were confident when they launched and all that, and then they had all the problems, and the first thing they did was say, oh, the MLB guys.
They blamed it on MLB, right.
So now their confidence in them can't be that strong because they gave them all this assurance when they were going to launch it that, hey, it'll be fine, and then a bunch of problems, and it's like, oh, fuck, they couldn't even handle the launch. They're going to be able to...
I mean... Let's be honest, the network launched, you knew that there was going to be some problems here and there, right? There was going to be some hit or miss problems. I mean, it's the official launch. You can't not expect any errors on the first day. But these issues continued for 2-3 weeks, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still, it seems like now
I don't hear anything about it.
They've got most of the tech issues resolved. But I think WrestleMania is going to be a completely different story, especially with over 1 million people trying to watch a live stream.
They couldn't handle NXT Arrival.
Right.
And they're going to handle WrestleMania. I hope they got it fixed.
We'll see what happens. All right, let's get into Monday Night Raw, WZROnline.com.
Motherfucking.com.
/chat, WZROnline.com /chat. So, Monday Night Raw last night, they announced Stephanie McMahon, the principal owner.
One of the principal owners of
WWE. She comes out and she basically says, y'all got worked last week on Raw, right? She said that they aired a big video package before
to open the show,
highlighting what happened last week. She said that the WWE audience needed to be the intelligent leaders. They need to listen to.
They need leaders.
They need leaders like Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
People like Tony Montana. You need people like me to punch a finger in their face and say that goes to that guy. Razor Ramon gets inducted. Yeah.
So,
you need people like me.
During this, the crowd breaks out in this massive CM Punk segment. She didn't stop. She didn't blink.
She acknowledged the Daniel Bryan
kept talking. Yeah, no doubt.
They did those first. Right. She said, well, you channel 1, he's not here, blah, blah, blah. And then the Punk one started. She ignored those.
The CM Punk, I mean, they were loud. Crowd. They were loud for, it didn't last. I mean, because she kept talking over the top of it. I mean, she just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. Didn't flinch.
Kind of surprised that between Chicago and now, Brooklyn, that... Like you said, that the chants aren't lasting. Like that, they rabid about it. I mean, they'll get going, and they'll, because it takes 20, 30 assholes chanting something.
Right.
They'll spread.
Right.
But if everybody's thinking this way, feeling this way, it ain't going away. But it's been.
But check this out. The people. Okay, I think when the whole thing first went down, everybody, not everybody, but most people sided with CM Punk, where give CM Punk what he wants. Not only that, but a lot of people thought that it was a work and that CM Punk would eventually be back. Now I think they're coming to the realization. I like where you're going. They're coming to the realization that CM Punk walked out on us, and it's not a work. This dude quit on us, and you know what?
Kind of like fuck you,
fuck him.
Yeah.
So he basically said fuck you to the WWE fans, and the WWE fans are starting to realize,
almost like a spoiled brat kind of thing. Like, I didn't get what I wanted, so I literally I took my ball and went home.
I didn't get what I wanted, so I'm going to walk out and screw everybody. Listen, dude, and that's what it kind of comes at. WWE made every effort to try to get him back for WrestleMania.
Well,
they went. We don't know what was said between.
We don't know, and also they didn't offer him the main event, which is what he wanted. So they didn't make every effort, because every effort would have been like, all right, you can fucking main event,
right, but
you can't let talent dictate what you know what I mean? Because then other people might follow suit. Like, no, if Punk can get away, fuck it, I'm a big star too. Give me what I want, or I'm walking.
They tried.
I can't let that happen.
They tried to get him back for WrestleMania, and he said, I'm not doing it. And part of the reason, like you said, may have had to do with the main event,
and stuff.
Them not offering that. But they tried a lot of things to get him back, and Punk said, I'm not doing it. I'm pissed, and I'm not coming back. So now I think fans, like I said, are starting to realize that, you know what, he said fuck you to us, fuck you right back. And maybe that's, I mean, they were in New York last night, man. It wasn't Madison, it was Brooklyn though. You're in New York City,
hot ass crowd,
still got that hot crowd. You're thinking, like Chicago, not as bad as Chicago, obviously,
no,
hometown of CM
Punk,
but you would have a crowd that, all night long would be Daniel Bryan or CM Punk.
Die-hard fans.
That wasn't them last night,
I mean, they would chant it here, and there was a couple times it broke out during the show. But like you said, it would quickly die down.
Right. It was very quick.
But
so
back to the segment.
Randy Orton comes out, right?
It turned into a train wreck by the time everybody else was out there. You had the mic not working. You had Batista, Orton, Stephanie arguing with each other and stepping on each other's lines. I wrote the column.
Right.
The wrestling news column, like I always do, and I compared it to and I don't even watch the show, but Howard Stern would always play clips of it and make fun of it, like The View. Mm-hmm. And the way I wrote it in the column was, a bunch of
The View with Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
All right.
Stern would play the clips just to point out what I'm talking about right now, which is that they all fucking talk over each other.
Right.
And I wrote in the column, a bunch of crazy broads who won't shut up. You know what I mean? Let one person make a point. No, I say this. I say that. And the next thing you know, they're all talking. Nobody can hear anything.
TMZ Live today. Did you see?
That's exactly what you were saying.
My God, today.
That's the point. Yeah.
Right,
that's what this segment was.
When Boone and I do it sometimes, but we'll get to the point where Boone subtly, you guys may not notice
one
it,
of us will give.
Boone will give me this. I'll be able to tell by the sound of his voice where he'll be like, dude, you fucking cut me off one more time. And I'll do the same thing.
Reaction.
Right, something like that. But, God, on TMZ Live, dude, it was all these dudes were chiming in at the same time today. And I said, I yelled into you, I said, dude, this is the first time I'm turning this motherfucker off today, dude, because they're all arguing.
It's annoying.
Dude, it got very annoying.
Stern would get like that, too, every once in a while. And I love Stern, but it's just... When everybody's talking over each other and nobody will give in, it's like, all right, you're giving me a fucking headache with this shit.
That's what it was today.
That's kind of what was going on with Raw. They're all.
So Batista comes out, right? And Batista's terrible on the microphone. He's never going to get better. It's Dave Batista on the microphone. Come on, right? But
it's funny too. They started chanting boring, and then right when they started doing the boring chants, Batista comes out.
Right.
Almost like it was a perfect, they just fucking guttural hatred.
So Batista's mic starts breaking down, right? And somebody slid in a microphone, right? And it was like Dave should have just put the microphone and grabbed the new microphone. I don't know if he didn't see the microphone or what did, but Stephanie McMahon...
Sometimes you don't know your mic ain't working when you're in there.
Maybe that's what it was. But Stephanie McMahon, had to jump in and basically, in a polite way, say, hey, Dave, pick up a new fucking microphone.
He can't hear you.
There's a new fucking microphone right there. Pick it up and use it. She said, Dave, I don't know what you're saying, but... There's a microphone right there. There's a working microphone. So she politely pulled him on live television. And then...
What do you think of the insult? I don't think that's the first time Stephanie's been drooled all over. Isn't that a compliment?
Drooled? Like, what do you mean drooled?
That's what I was wondering, because the way I interpreted it, and I was later told different, but the way I interpreted it was, you're drooling all over Stephanie.
You're hot.
Which was Batista was saying to Orton. Yeah, kissing her ass.
She's hot.
She's hot or whatever. And, that's not the first time people have drooled all over you. I'd actually say they drooled over you a lot. I'd be like, damn right,
look at me. I'm hot. She's like, look at all my makeup. I'm fucking hot.
Pushes them. And
yeah, the smack was great.
Emasculates him, smacks his glasses off.
Had the sunglasses on. Yeah. That was good.
Tears his jeans, his ass gets torn off.
That's, all right, so then I went back and I watched the video,
I didn't notice
right? That. Batista comes and he spears Orton, right? Then he gets up from the spear, and his pants were still fine at that point.
Were they?
When he bends down to pick up the title. When he picks up the titles, he bends down, and he picks up the titles. And then he walks out of the ring, and when he walked out of the ring and went under the top rope there, you could see that it was ripped, but you could see that the pants ripped when he bent down. It was either when he bent down to grab the titles or when he hit the spear. I don't think it was the spear. I think it was when he bent down to pick up the titles.
So, goddamn, they must have been. It was just you talked about it the other week. You said it'll never be fashionable to you to wear skinny jeans.
Right.
We were talking about that.
Those weren't really skinny jeans.
He said they weren't on Twitter. I know that because I posted his reaction or whatever. Well, don't ask me. I don't know.
Who knows? But no, they weren't. I mean, the first week that he returned, those were hardcore skinny jeans, right?
Yeah, his style was a little bit different, man. Between the hats and the glasses and the tight ass shirts and tight fucking jeans.
But so that's how the segment ended.
Orton was falling down laughing. It was like just so many things. Like, oh god, it started off good. I was enjoying Stephanie being the annoying heel authority figure. The crowd shitting all over her. I was having fun with that.
Right.
By the time Orton and Batista's out there and the mic's not working, he's laughing and she's smacking.
It was like, fake laughing, dude. Yeah, you could tell he was like,
falling down laughing. Wasn't that funny, dude. Bro? Calm down.
It really wasn't that funny.
It was not that great.
All right, so that was the opening segment of Raw. We had an IC title. It was the #1 contenders match, Fatal 4-Way.
What we were talking about.
Del Rio, Christian, Ziggler, and Sheamus.
Yeah, with Biggie at ringside. Great match.
It was a really good match.
Crowd went nuts for Ziggler when he first came out.
Crowd was awesome. There were chants of "This is awesome" during the match. So it was a really, really good match.
There were some botch spots in there, though.
There was some botch spots, but they did at the very end, where pretty much everybody hit their finisher. Yeah. I think that's where the crowd
that always came alive. The crowd. I wonder how long they can keep doing that. Because back in the day, it was fucking blasphemy. You don't kick out of my finish.
Right.
My finisher, it's over. When I hit that, it's over. And then slowly but surely, the style became, especially for pay-per-view main events, to make this match feel like a fucking main event. We got to have the fans up and down. Like, oh, I thought that was it. It wasn't. Right. Oh, I thought that was it.
Well, they do it every year with the Undertaker
match. And the easy,
cheap
way to do it is, all right, let's hit this. Let's establish 3-4 finishes. Not everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't just have one finisher.
Right.
Everybody's got 2 or 3 now. That way we could do clusterfucks at the end of every match where this guy does this finisher, he kicks out. He does this finisher, kicks out, and over and over and over, and eventually, I wonder how long they keep doing that as a regular style, because it's been years now they've done it.
I think
to
it
where
works
people stop buying it.
I think it works.
I think if there's that many different things you can jumble up, and if you lay it out the right way, I think it'll always work too.
And not only, but a perfect example of that in a one-on-one contest is any Undertaker match at WrestleMania, dude. And you'll see it again this year. Where
he's got the last ride, which is that pick you up by your pants powerbomb,
right?
He's got the Hell's Gate, which is the Go-Go Plata,
out, right?
He's got the choke slam.
Yeah.
He's got the tombstone.
Tombstone, right?
He
only uses the tombstone very special occasions.
That's usually the finisher.
I think we'll see it at WrestleMania.
But do the cross arms, flip the hair.
Right. But when they do, when Brock and Taker go at it in a couple of weeks, less than 2 weeks at WrestleMania, you're going to have near fall after near fall at the end, and they'll have you believing that Brock may end the streak.
Because Lesnar's got the F5,
right,
and he's also got that Kimura established.
Lesnar
so they're going to go from the Gogoplata to the Kimura, or the Kimura to the Gogoplata, because it's both submissions on the ground.
Lesnar will. I'm going to say, I'll go on record right now. I'll say Lesnar will hit the F5 on the Undertaker
at least twice,
3 times. All right, I was going to say twice. But he'll hit the F5 on the Undertaker 3 times.
Through a table, the whole fucking
through a table, everything, and every time Taker will kick out because the streak's not ending, especially to a guy like Brock Lesnar. It's not going to happen. But and if it were to ever end, I mean, Taker's getting up there in age. WrestleMania 30, it's a milestone event. It's 3 decades of WrestleMania. This should be the last match. You know,
they 3 decades.
3 decades.
I think it's 4.
Every 10 years. Though.
80s, 90s. Double O's. Now we're in the teens. That's
but we're at 30.
4 decades.
It's 30.
There's 3 decades worth of shows. There was 30 shows,
right?
But it went through 4 decades.
It went through 4 decades, but
so there's been 4 decades where there's been WrestleManias. There was the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, the 2010, which I don't even know what to call those. The double O's, whatever you call them, and now the 20 teens, whatever you call them.
Right, no doubt. But they'll have you believe in the Taker streak is going to end, and they do it every year.
Oh yeah, that's the selling point. You want to convince people that this is where it ends. And I think that's what the caller called last week and said there's something missing. I think it's brilliant.
I thought last night they did a lot to get me more interested than what I have been.
I think last night was more of the same, but those first 2 weeks where they did the big explanation, Heyman does the big explanation of all the guys that have streaks at Mania. Mm-hmm. And the biggest names in the history of wrestling, you got maybe 4, maybe 5, 21.
Right.
And then the next week, part 2 of the story was fucking brilliant, I thought, where you make this point clear that the last few years he's barely getting by, just barely doing it. And the same guys he's barely getting by, Lesnar's fucking eating up and gobbling for breakfast. I think it's fucking great story.
That was good stuff. That promo by Heyman was good stuff.
Yeah. Good video package too. Big elaborate.
Yeah. Right.
What I did.
So Christian wound up winning this Fatal 4-Way. Was going to go on the main event tonight. Something happened. We don't know what that was, but I'm sure they'll let us know in the chat during the break.
I think they said they switched it to a triple threat, but
what happened on? Let us know. I got that. Sin Cara and Damian Sandow on Raw last night. What do you Mystico came out on Twitter and sent a tweet to Vince McMahon,
fraud.
Triple H, and he said, fraud. He later deleted the tweet, but listen.
And he spelled fraud wrong. Unless that's how you spell it in Spanish.
And maybe that's what it was.
Fraude.
What happened, somebody in the chat room, if you guys can let us know, what happened with Christian on WWE Main Event? Obviously, we can't see it. We're doing a live show. So, if anybody caught what happened with Christian on Main Event, let us...
I'm just muted, but...
That's all good. Let us know in the live chat room so that we can let the people who didn't watch Main Event know what went down tonight. But, so... Mystico comes out, and we know that there's been issues with Mystico and WWE. He feels that he owns the rights to the Sin Cara name. WWE says, no, you are in our company. It's our gimmick. I think they've got the trademark to it and the merchandise and everything else.
Well, they have to, yeah.
You're right. So if this goes to court...
They own the intellectual property.
Right. Mm. So he's got no chance in hell of using this gimmick in Mexico if that's what he's planning on doing. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's working these shows in Mexico as Sin Cara.
Where he's already established as a legendary guy named Mystico. Right. Why don't you just go back to Mystico?
Go back to being Mystico, you know? So...
Mick Foley was still, Cactus Jack and
Right,
because he owns that, but he doesn't own Mankind. All right, I'll be Cactus Jack. What the fuck? People know that name too.
If they go to court over that Sin Cara, the original Sin Cara, Mystico is going to wind up just... You're out of here.
Okay, so James in the chat says they switched it to a triple threat. Sheamus, Del Rio, and Ziggler. And Ziggler won to become the new number 1 contender to the IC title.
So there was nothing with Christian. I didn't want to say it earlier. I think something's going on with Christian, man. I said maybe wellness policy, maybe something happened. Does he want to leave the company early? Something happened. Why would they do a big angle on Raw and then come on the Main Event tonight and not even address Christian is he won a big match on Raw, but
maybe they want to do Ziggler Big E at Mania and they had to switch it up to make that happen. Maybe they just came up with it,
Maybe
Ziggler gets the fucking rock star reaction in New York, and they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's give him the fucking the workers belt, the IC belt.
It shows you guys how much things change in WWE, where they get to Raw, and sometimes while Raw is airing, they will tweak things.
So that and a crowd can change a whole bunch of shit. If a crowd really, really gets behind something or really, really shits on something,
right?
WWE would be like, fuck it, we gotta, like Daniel Bryan. They said, fuck it. A lot of people think
Ziggler was over last
night. A lot
of
people think, well, this Daniel Bryan thing, this was the plan all along. Bull. I fucking bust all over that. No, it wasn't.
They're saying WWE.com says he has a concussion.
Maybe
they put that up on .com. So maybe something happened on Raw where they had to take him out of that match because he has a concussion. That would make sense.
That makes sense.
They're not if he did suffer a concussion last night on Raw, they're not going to let him wrestle tonight. So maybe that's what they're going with.
We'll look into it.
All right, no doubt.
After that,
Sin Cara and Damien Sandow wound up taking that. Right?
Bullshit, man. Damien Sandow. What happened to him?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy.
Oh man, didn't even get an entrance. He got jobbed in 2 minutes.
You're right. He wound up losing that match to Sin Cara.
Like a squash.
Yeah.
A 2-minute squash just to get Scooby Doo out there real quick to plug that fucking.
It's remember they were going to push Kofi Kingston with the whole NASCAR thing. I always bring that up.
Yeah.
Kofi in the NASCAR, and then boom, killed it. Damien Sandow, boom, killed it. Wade Barrett, killed it. Brodus Clay,
Titus
killed
O'Neil.
it. Tenzai, the big vignette that they had for Tenzai when he came in, he was going to be this big, powerful monster.
But I'm talking recent stuff. Recently, they turned Brodus Clay heel on the Funkadactyls.
We haven't seen him since.
I haven't seen him since. Titus O'Neil turns on Darren Young. So you got these teams you established for 6-8 months, finally do the split, and they disappear.
Nothing.
Well, what the fuck was the point of all of that?
The whole build-up.
Titus O'Neil's jobbing the Big Show in 2 minutes last night. I'm like, what? Isn't he supposed to be getting a heel run as a single?
Right. Remember he cut that promo just a couple of weeks ago backstage?
And
people were on him. Right.
He's decent on the mic. He's got the look. His ring stuff's
got the voice
better.
too.
He's got a pretty complete package.
He could be one of them voiceover guys for commercials and things like that.
Some of the cartoons they're doing and shit.
Right? Scooby-Doo on Raw last night.
Ruh-roh.
Los Matadores and Ryback, so right? Michael Cole out of nowhere announced that it's going to be a tag team match, right? At WrestleMania.
Yeah, he said that Ryback was supposed to be in the Battle Royal.
Okay.
And now they're not. They're going to be in the tag title match. Which, okay, they're going to be in a tag title match, and then they lose to Los Matadors.
Right.
Second to last Raw.
So we're going to put them in a tag title match, but we're going to have them lose
to our jobberiest jobber tag team. I mean, I understood the reason was because they had attacked the Shield on SmackDown.
Right.
And then the Shield cost them their match here, beat them down, put them through the table afterwards. Well,
right.
Why do any of that in the first place? If Shield's not working with them, they're not. Shield's over here with Kane and New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
Ryback's was over here with the tag titles. So let's have Los Matadors pin Ryback,
right,
so that the Shield can cost them the match.
How about
and beat
this?
Them up.
How about this? Cesaro, Jack Swagger, screwing each other week after week after week, right?
Shield they had the Shield fucking teasing it for weeks.
About to split up, right?
Let's keep them together, turn them face.
Cesaro and Swagger, they're going to do a singles match at WrestleMania. They're screwing each other. They're almost to the point where they're about to start fighting.
Never mind.
Screw that.
Too many starts and stops.
When
you do that too many times, people lose interest. They don't care anymore.
Right.
All right, you gave us a tease 20 times. You didn't do it. Now I don't even care.
It's crazy. Michael Cole and Triple H, the interview here.
Sit down, interview.
It started off, whatever. But when Triple H got angry towards the end, said he's gonna retire. He's gonna name. There was the Attitude Era, and there was the '80s era, and we're gonna title this the Reality Era, where I'm gonna basically reality is gonna set in at WrestleMania when I defeat Daniel Bryan. I go on, I win the WWE World Heavyweight Title at WrestleMania, Reality Era, and then he storms out, right?
So that was that.
No Daniel Bryan on Raw last night.
No Daniel Bryan on Raw. They said it in the beginning of the show.
They hyped him.
He worked the house shows this weekend, too.
He worked the house shows.
The big explanation was he's injured. That's why he can't be working on Raw. And yet they had him working matches on the weekend. Okay, that's not on TV, but still did it. You know what I mean?
They said on SmackDown that Daniel Bryan was going to appear on Raw as a follow-up.
No, that's what I was going to say. They had him work the house show matches, but even though they weren't on TV, it was, we advertised him, so he has to appear. Well, you also advertised him for the Raw Dark match last night. You didn't give him that. Should be some consistency to your bullshit here.
Daniel Bryan sent out a tweet about an hour before Raw went live and said, not going to be able to compete on Raw tonight, but that's still not going to stop me from going and calling out the authorities. So Daniel Bryan himself
maybe they changed plans.
Sent out, you think? Daniel Bryan sent out a tweet an hour before Raw went live that says, I'm not going to be wrestling tonight, but I am going to be on the show. We get to Raw, and there was no Daniel Bryan. So
2 Raws left, and their biggest star isn't on one of them.
The star that's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania isn't on Raw.
It's going to win. The whole show is him getting his moment.
Daniel Bryan himself, 1 hour before Raw was to go live, he himself thought he was going to be on Raw. So something changed. Just got done talking about it. There's times where they're rewriting the script for Raw. How do you snap? I can never do that.
You kind of got it.
I can't do it. I can't snap. Anyway. Hulk Hogan, Arnold, and...
Rhodes beat Fandango. Okay. That was a nothing match.
Hulk Hogan, Arnold, and the other dude.
I just kept writing in the play-by-play, Joe whoever. That Joe dude, I think I said once, yeah.
So these, the 3 of them are out there, and they're just sucking each other off, dude. You're great.
God.
You're great.
I'm not great. You're great. No, you're great.
Arnold's talking about, you're the man because you have the pythons. You have the big arms.
Look at those biceps, the triceps, your pectorals, the laterals.
It's basically, yo, Hogan, you got big arms, bro. You're the man. And Hulk says, no, dude, you're a movie star. You're the man. And then there's other guys like, both of you guys are great. And it was just
both my heroes.
Dick-sucking fest like I've never seen before, bro,
really?
Between 3 dudes. I've never seen a dick-sucking fest.
Really? I'm setting you up. The Miz came out. Really?
Oh, that's right. Alright, so the Miz comes out and he says, basically, what the fuck is this?
He did his really thing, and then,
So is Miz a babyface or a heel this week? What's up with that?
He was a heel this week,
He's a heel this week.
He says, you guys are all pretend tough guys in the movies. I'm really a tough guy.
Right.
And then they beat the shit out of him.
So. The guy says, come on down here and do so,
They let the jobber hit him.
Hogan.
Arnold backhanded him, and then Hogan dunked him out.
That's what it was. There's your moveset finisher. Everybody hits their finishing move, right? Arnold hits the backhand. Hulk throws him over.
Yep. Whatever.
Let's see. We had John Cena's backstage. He's in the bathroom or something,
Big Show
right?
beat Titus O'Neil. Yeah.
Big Show, Titus O'Neil.
Set him up because they're doing Big Show Bray on SmackDown tonight.
That's the main event, right? John Cena's in the bathroom backstage, and there was the
I missed it.
There was the pig face in the mirror.
Sheep mask. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't catch that.
Didn't they do that in WCW with somebody? Back in the day,
they had Ultimate Warrior do something like that, where he thought he was seeing shit, but he wasn't.
Right,
or something like that.
I don't remember. Well, the pig face from Bray Wyatt, whatever, Harper, the sheep mask. That's what it was. The sheep mask was there. We had that led us into John Cena,
which I like, by the way. I've heard a lot of criticisms about that segment, the Cena in the mirror. Well, you're getting the fact over that he's paranoid, he's scared. He said last week that I'm afraid of Bray Wyatt, and they keep going with that. I think that's cool.
No, it was all right.
Because he appeals to kids, and if you're going to convince kids that he's scared of somebody, Bray's the perfect character to be scared of because he's freaky and demonic and devilish. And
real quick, we had John Cena and Luke Harper, man. That this was after the backstage segment with the whole mirror.
They did a Shield Triple H Stephanie segment backstage.
Actually, you know what? We'll save this when we come back from the break. Okay. They did the whole sheet mask on Cena at the end. All right, so we have to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be back on the flip side. I'm going to put up a rapid fire during the commercial break. What's rapid fire?
Rapid fire is this quick segment we do in the second hour of the show where you can submit your questions and comments, and we'll answer them in a rapid-style fashion. Submit your questions and comments right now by logging on to Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. One more time, that's Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Get on over there.
Alright, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes from now. You are listening to WZR TV Tuesdays with this guy, Matt Boone, and I'm Ryan Clark. We'll be back right after this. Here we are. We are back for our numero dos. We'll be taking your live phone calls here in just a couple of minutes. We're also going to do a rapid fire here as well. At the top of the hour here, going to give you guys some news and notes from the WWE main event and SmackDown tapings tonight. WWE main event, you guys already know it aired live from 8 to 9 Eastern Time. Just ended a couple of minutes ago on the WWE Network. Christian, the update on him, WWE.com is reporting that he has what is described as a slight concussion. So that is the reason. Nothing more, nothing less.
Is that an angle concussion or is that a real concussion?
I'm not sure. I mean, they did go with the win last night.
I'm trying to remember the match. If there was anything where like his head got smashed somewhere.
Seems to me like it's probably the real deal.
Oh, real?
No, I mean they had a storyline in place last night for Christian to win that match and then go on to main event. They had even hyped it up throughout the night. After the match was over, tune into main event to find out Christian.
Wouldn't they have known if it was real though? Like as soon as the match was over,
they've got to perform tests. He's got to undergo the impact testing and everything else. I'm sure that he probably got backstage and said, "Hey, I'm dizzy. I need some testing." And then today at the SmackDown tapings, he winds up undergoing the impact test, and they say you're not cleared to go. We can't let you. You're showing signs of a concussion, so we're not going to let you go. And that's why they came out earlier this afternoon and
what was the injury that kept him out for so long? Was it his leg?
I don't remember. I know that he's been ready to return for months.
Yeah, his shoulder maybe.
Yeah, I remember an MRI. I remember a Christian MRI.
Did he have surgery?
I think he did.
So
I think he did, right? Because he was out 8 months.
Several months.
He was out a long time. And then he was ready to come back for months, and they were just waiting for a storyline to bring him back. But slight concussion for him, so it seems like that's probably the real deal, according to WWE.com. And then, maybe not. It could be an angle.
If they change their minds, they'd have to explain it somehow. So it's
very well could be an angle. You're right, but I'm leaning towards the real deal.
Alrighty, we'll see.
And then let's see. WWE SmackDown. They opened up. I don't think this is going to air, but there was a dark match. It was Alexander Rusev against somebody. Rusev wound up getting the win. Lana was there as well.
Did they put him in that battle royal?
He is in the
Rusev's
battle
in
royal.
it?
Yes.
When did they announce it? I don't remember.
They announced it.
Must have been SmackDown. Like a week ago.
I remember he was one of the first names to be entered into the battle royal.
I don't remember.
He was one of the first names to be entered. I think we even talked about it on here, didn't we? Where
you predicted that he'd win it, but I didn't know if he was in it at that point, though.
Or he shows up the Royal Rumble, right? And he's in the Royal Rumble match, and then they just put him in the battle royal, right? Did he announce it on one of those stage segments where he comes out on stage with Lana?
If he did, it wasn't Raw, no.
Huh?
I would have remembered that.
SmackDown.
Well, I don't watch SmackDown.
Pretty sure he's in there. I'm pretty sure.
Who do you got winning that thing?
The battle royal?
Yeah.
Maybe him. You know, big guy. The thing with that is they're building this up, and by the way, that's definitely going to be on the main show, just based on what they're doing on television with it.
Big Show's winning.
That's a Big Show. There you go. It's got to be somebody.
He's Baby Andre. He's the big deal. He's like the biggest star in there, and
they're gonna
Big Show. Here's your role this year. You're gonna be in a battle royal that means jack shit, and you're gonna lose it too.
Well, they're gonna have whoever wins it is scheduled to walk around for the next year with that trophy, and then it's gonna be an annual type thing where every year
walk around with it. They have to like that's part of their
the briefcase thing where it's gonna go for the next year. It's gonna be an annual thing, and then next year at WrestleMania we're gonna have another Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That's the plan as of right now, but you guys know how much stuff changes.
Yes.
So who knows? But yeah, I would say Big Show, somebody like that, or Rusev if they want it. If they've got big plans for Rusev, have him win it because it gets him over in an angle where he can be the guy that.
If he's in it, he might win it. I don't know if he's in it though.
Something like that. I'm not 100% positive on that.
If he was, they had to have done it on SmackDown or just announce it on their website or something. Because if it was on Raw, I would have remembered.
I think he's in there.
I'm saying, I don't know. But I think Big Show's winning just because he's the. He's Baby Andre, and it's tribute Andre.
Right.
Here's his.
Right.
When he first came in, he was billed as Andre the Giant's son in WCW.
Right.
As the Giant. That's what they used him as.
I would say it's something that they're going to have plans for, you know. But it makes sense. The Baby Andre Big Show. I mean, that makes the most sense. It's the most obvious.
The most productive way would be doing what you're saying, which is all right. Let's use this to get somebody over.
Somebody over, like a guy like Rusev, who's a big
guy. Fucker anyway. Yeah.
In himself. All right, so WWE SmackDown. Let's break this down real quick if you guys don't want to hear what happens on SmackDown. We've got the opening segment and then the first couple of matches. Looks like the Shield is running a gauntlet, but turn those speakers down. We'll give you the thumbs up when it's good to come back. So WWE SmackDown opened. Wade Barrett came out. I'm not sure that this is going to air on the live show, but Barrett's podium pops up. He's got some bad news.
Can I have some decorum, please?
John Cena's not going to be there tonight, or something like something about John Cena. They open it up. Dave Bautista comes out to the ring and cuts a promo.
This. Okay, what happened?
Dave Bautista comes to the ring. He cuts a promo. It's the same Batista promo. He's pissed off. This is not what he came for. But he's going to go into WrestleMania. He's going to walk out as WWE World Heavyweight Champion, whether it's Triple H, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, whoever's in the match, deal with it. He's walking out as World Heavyweight Champion. Then we have the Shield comes out for a match. It is the Shield against 3MB up at first. During the match, the corporate Kane, the corporate Billy Gunn, and the corporate Road Dogg. All three of them in suits come out on stage. They watch the match. The Shield winds up defeating 3MB. Kane, the corporate Kane, grabs a microphone and says, "Your next opponents, you're not done yet,
children.
Your next opponents will be Ryback." So out comes Curtis Axel and Ryback, and that is in progress right now. So that's what's going on. Looks like the Shield is running a gauntlet. You're gonna have a Batista Triple H promo to open SmackDown.
And they added the tag. They changed the tag title match for Mania.
You're right.
So now that's going to be the current change. The Usos against Los Matadores.
Los Matadores, man.
Ryback
and the Real Americans.
Who
they had planned to do a singles match. So
I can't believe they put Los Matadores in there. Maybe just for the work rate.
Right?
Just for the work rate. Because, if we put these guys in there, they're good workers. They can fly around and make the match better.
Right.
Because not only team, why not Goldust, Cody Rhodes? They're not even doing anything. They're just, I guess they're in the Battle Royal, are they? I don't even know.
The Los Matadores?
No, Goldust, Cody.
Oh, Goldust and Cody, yes. I'm positive okay. They're in the Battle Royal.
They're not even in that. Damn, why didn't they put
Cesaro and Swagger are in the Battle Royal as well. Maybe not now, as they're featured in the tag team. It was Cesaro and Swagger.
Battle Royal.
They were going to... My God, Cesaro and Swagger, they were going to face each other at WrestleMania. And then, that's off, right? That was never announced, but they had been teasing.
They started the angle and then they just dropped it.
Then they go to the Battle Royal, into the Battle Royal, and now we're not in the Battle Royal anymore.
Tag titles.
We are in the tag titles, and we are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and we're still making matches. We're still making the Divas
matches.
We're changing and making matches. WrestleMania should be set, and I understand the main matches have been set.
This ain't a fucking no way out. This is you need
set the WrestleMania a month in advance.
Build of
give at least 4 or 5 weeks where the WrestleMania card is set, and then you do this push for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, it shouldn't be hard to tell a story, because I could see we can't confirm the match yet, because once it's confirmed, then we got to tell a story for 5 weeks without having them actually wrestle. Maybe it's overkill by the time we get there. It'll be burnt out, or people will want something different, and it'll seem too... Yeah. By the time you get there, oh God, we've seen these guys for fucking weeks. Who cares? Let's do something new. But
they're still
if you do it right, you would want a long build.
Not only that, but you know what else, dude? Is with the Divas match that they announced last night on Raw. AJ Lee's in there. Same thing with the tag team match. For the titles, it's like the guys that are champions, they don't even have to lose the match to lose the titles. There's 2 matches that are like that.
And that Divas thing, which, by the way, we'll get to in a second. They announced it last night. Vicky Guerrero Invitational. Diva Invitational.
Vicky Guerrero Diva Invitational.
The whole reason they did that. The whole reason they did that is just to give everybody on Total Divas in the fucking match.
That's what it is.
If you remember last year, they canceled the Divas match during the show. They're backstage in their gear, ready to go. They're filming for Total Divas already at this point, even though it hadn't debuted yet, but they're filming it. So one of the first episodes was the girls finding out that they got canceled from...
It made for good TV, though. It did make for good TV.
Yeah.
That's what one of the Bella twins... If you guys haven't seen the Bellas on the Sam Roberts show, Sam Roberts is... He's such a nerd. He's the guy with the curly hair.
Afro.
The afro.
What's his catchphrase? What's the haps?
What's the haps?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
What's the haps?
He is such a nerd.
I only know that because Paul Heyman did an interview with him, which I watched. Because he gets a lot of the wrestlers at these media events.
He gets everybody.
And Heyman was making a big deal about what's the haps. But I guess he's supposed to be part of Opie and Anthony or something?
He is. Okay. He is. But he's got his own show that branches off
That's the enemy.
Of Howard, right?
That's the enemy. Might as well be Don Imus fan.
Sam is such a nerd. He's such a dorky guy, right? But he's a huge pro wrestling fan, and you can tell that he
knows his shit.
He reads the internet, and he knows the inside, right? So when he has guests on, he asks them the questions that people want to know. Like, he had the Bella Twins on the other day. I'm telling you, this is like a half an hour.
Put it over on Facebook.
This is like a half an hour interview with Sam Roberts and the Bella Twins. It is awesome. Even if you don't like the Bella Twins, they really, they let loose, man, because Sam was asking these questions where, come on. He says, come on. Let's be honest. This whole John Cena, Nikki Bella relationship, come on, it's a work, right? It's TV, it's total it's reality TV. And Nikki came out and responded with,
Are you really banging Nikki or not? Come on, man. What's the hash?
So he and they were. The Bellas came out and they were completely honest with him, which made it a good interview for
another guy that does good interviews like that. Peter Rosenberg.
Peter Rosenberg.
Hot 97. He knows his shit. And I think when the people, especially the Bella Twins, who want to be famous in the worst goddamn way,
right?
You put them on a real show, not the fake wrestling world that people look down upon.
Don't say the fake. I hate.
No, I'm saying this is the perception. This is the perception people have. Like, oh god, wrestling, it's so corny, it's so cheesy. But I'm on a real show now.
Right.
Even though fucking 5 million people watch Raw and maybe 200,000 listen to the Sam Roberts show.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like a fucking fraction of a fraction of who sees you here, but to them, this is real entertainment.
Is the real deal.
I'm on a real show right now. So my point to all that is that when they get on those kind of shows, they want to fucking impress the host, so they're willing to fucking say shit.
And they
get if we got a hold of them, they just work us, you know.
Exactly.
If you go on that show, they're like, oh no, this is the real show, man. We gotta fucking give it to them here.
Exactly. And by the way, I know you were referring what most people think of it as, but I see people on the comments section and on my Facebook page. The thing that irks me the most, man, is when people say wrestling is fake, right? That 4-letter word, fake. F-A-K-E.
I figure a lot of people do that.
4-letter
Anytime
word.
somebody says, I got 4 words for you, everybody always in their head goes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just 4 words.
Fake.
Yeah, fake.
Okay? Wrestling is fake. Dude, that's a pet peeve that just annoys the shit out of me. Because the people that say wrestling is fake, I would love to see these people get in a ring, take a choke slam through a table, get hit with a chair or something like that, on the back with a chair. Wake up the next morning, roll out of bed, and tell me that pro wrestling is fake. You want to say pro wrestling is scripted? Absolutely, pro wrestling is scripted.
I know that's
but it's far from fake. Come on, man.
I know that's the canned answer that everybody's supposed to give if you're a real wrestling fan. But I hate when people say it's fake.
It's the truth.
Guess what? Doesn't bother me one bit. I can give 2 shits. It's fake.
If you were a pro wrestler, that would irk you, man, because you know that you go out there and you bust ass, you're landing on your back, you're on the road, 200 something days out of the year, very, very, you don't give that much time off, and you're waking up every morning, and your body's in pain, and then for somebody to say, well, it's fake. It's not fake. You know what I mean? You're taking bumps left and right. It's scripted.
Yes.
It's a pet peeve. Just saying.
Don't
call wrestling fake.
That's the answer.
It's scripted. Anyways, back to Monday Night Raw. So the Divas. Oh yes. Cena and Harper. Right, the whole thing where at the end of the match they had Cena tied up, right, or they had him
tied in the ropes like Andre the Giant used to do.
Right, and they put the sheep mask,
pig mask on him.
No,
the sheep mask.
The sheep.
Yeah. And everybody's chanting, "This is awesome," just because it looked funny.
Yeah. We had the Divas. It was Naomi. She's back. She's got the eye patch on, right? She's wearing the eye patch.
Still doing the eye patch.
Right.
It's supposed to be her and AJ, and then AJ just walks out, gets counted out on purpose.
AJ gets counted out.
That brought out, excuse me.
Vicky Guerrero.
We ran that down. So every diva in the roster is part of the.
Everybody. Rosa Mendez.
How does that
Layla,
work?
Tamina
Invitational.
Snuka,
is it a battle royal or is it a gauntlet? AJ's got to beat her, and then her, and then her, and then her, or is it just they all wrestle and whoever wins?
She announced it as a Divas Invitational.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Anybody shows up. Everybody shows up, right?
But is it a battle royal or is
everybody
it a
shows? Right, it's a battle royal. Everybody starts in the ring and you just go. Whoever shows up You show up to the parking lot.
But is it over the top rope, or is it first pin wins, or is it an elimination match? I doubt it would be elimination because that would take up way too much time.
They're gonna have to explain that next week on Raw what the rules are.
Yeah.
But everybody shows up in the high school parking lot. It's an invitational. We're ready to rock and rumble. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You know, everybody shows up. Start out the match. Everybody's in there, and go with it. I would say probably over the top battle royal.
I wish I would have had the damn theme music queued up. Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon.
That used to be my favorite theme as a kid.
What's the reason for Razor and not Scott Hall?
I don't know, because Razor's theirs and Scott Hall isn't.
NWO, Scott Hall.
I heard that they might want to induct the NWO as a faction in the future, but that doesn't mean you can't induct them as Scott Hall still. I mean, they did it with Flair and then the Four Horsemen.
Yeah,
although he was Flair WWE, Flair WCW, and this. Yeah. I don't know, it was just a choice, I guess. This is a year of characters. Jake the Snake, Ultimate Warrior, Razor Ramon, Lita.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Oh, by the way, Trish Stratus is going to induct Lita. What? Trish is going to induct
Lita. Who's inducting Razor, you think? If DDP's doing Jake, who's doing Razor? I guess it could be Nash.
That'd be
maybe
Kevin.
Could it be Hogan?
Shawn Michaels?
Shawn does the ladder match. Could be that.
The ladder match?
Yeah.
They're airing the ladder match tonight on the WWE Network, by the way. So, let's see. We had Batista and Randy Orton. That's confirmed for Raw next week.
Yes. So the main event of WrestleMania, you get 6 days before WrestleMania.
The original main event of WrestleMania.
Well, yeah.
There'll be a third man involved. But then we had Bray and Big Show main event on SmackDown. The Shield against the Real Americans. Pretty good match, man.
Shield's always a good match.
Yeah, Shield's awesome. Then let's talk. We talked about it earlier, man. Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker confrontation. We pretty much ran this down at the very beginning of the show.
I mean, if you've seen one of them, you've seen it 100 times.
How long did that music
They always did that long back in the day, too. It would take forever. Yeah,
that long?
The Druids would walk slow as shit.
Right?
The fucking caskets getting pulled. You could even hear somebody at one point say, "Watch your step," or say,
somebody real loud.
So you got these creepy guys that aren't even supposed to be human, and you hear one of them, "Hey, watch your step." Right. Kind of took you out of the moment for a second there, but so yeah, they wheeled the casket to the ring, the magic trick, under the ring, back in, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Open it, he's not there. Open it again, he is there. He gets out, puts a beating on Brock. Now the scary spot that I thought was, I'm pretty sure, and I haven't read this and nobody's told me this, I'm just guessing, when he throws him over the top, I think he was supposed to land in the casket. Brock was.
Right.
But as soon as he fucking went over the top, the casket closed and he bounced the top of his head off. He looked like he was going to break his fucking neck.
Yeah.
It was just like that Mania where he did the shooting star press and landed right on his forehead.
Brock's always seemed to do like brutal shit, dude, where he gets fucked up.
He's got a horseshoe up his ass.
Right?
Same thing he said that about Frank Mir. He said, "I told that some bitch he had a horseshoe over up his ass. I was going to pull it out. Beat him over the head with it." That was his promo after he beat Mir the second time.
He's
now I'm going to go hop on top of my wife. Hey, fuck Bud Light. I'm having a Coors Light.
Yeah.
That famous promo. That was the horseshoe.
So, check this out, dude. Real quick, because that was Raw last night.
What'd you think, top to bottom?
Now that we run it down, dude, I kind of shit over a lot of things, but, we're 2 weeks away from it. It wasn't as bad as we made it sound.
No Daniel Bryan.
I'd say C+. How's that?
I'll give it a C+. Yeah.
C+? C?
Maybe a B-, C+. It was good. It wasn't bad, but it just, there's been better ones recently, so.
Yeah. Alright, get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com. /chat. You just brought up Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir. Real quick.
Okay.
Sunday night, there was a UFC event. We didn't see most of the show. We tuned in to see the last two matches. Yeah. CB Dalloway against
whoever the tough Brazil winner was. I forget his name.
Whoever it is. CB wound up winning that fight.
Quick knockout, first round knockout. And
then the main event, two of my favorite fighters in UFC, Shogun Rua and Dan Henderson. Now, going in, I wanted Dan to win.
Son of a woman.
So I wanted Dan Henderson to win.
So did I.
So did you. So we go in there and we're watching the fight, and I said to you, and you agreed, dude, Dan got caught in the first round.
Oh, I thought he was out. I thought he was done.
He got rocked.
Yeah.
And he didn't look like himself after that. He was out of breath. He was gassed.
Yeah.
He was gassed, and we thought, man.
I don't know if he was gassed, but he was hurt.
Shogun's got him, right? We're thinking Shogun's got him in the second round. I
believe so.
Going back and forth, and Shogun's getting the better of him. Shogun's getting the better of him. Out of nowhere, Dan Henderson, that big right hand, bro. Every time. That right hand. Now, Henderson came out. He knocked him out, bro. He was out cold. Shogun was on the ground for a while afterwards.
Kind of like
checking on him.
We're talking about Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar fought Heath Herring, old Pride guy, he punched him so hard that Herring did like a fucking flip when he hit the ground. When Henderson hit Shogun, he kind of flipped over, remember? Yeah. And then Henderson was blasting him in the back of the head.
It is such a brutal right hand.
He's got something in that right hand that's out of this world.
It's crazy.
It's inhuman.
It's like concrete inside his hand.
He's got a fucking bomb in his wrist or something.
So Hendo is open to a fight with Machida.
He had called Machida out because that's right, we didn't talk about that either.
April 19th?
Chris Weidman was supposed to defend his title for the first time against Vitor Belfort. Mm-hmm. Then they banned TRT. Vitor Belfort pulls out. They put Lyoto Machida in.
Right.
So now it's going to be Chris Weidman versus Lyoto Machida. Mm-hmm. Now Chris Weidman gets injured in training, so he can't fight at UFC 173. So they say now that fight's going to take place UFC 175.
So Machida's without an opponent now.
Well, I think they just moved the fight to UFC 175. Okay. Now they need to announce a new main event for 173, and Henderson offered to step in and fight Machida, which is not going to happen because they want Machida. Although by then Belfort might be cycled off TRT, and they could do the fight they wanted to do the whole time, Belfort-Weidman.
That's true.
And then leave Machida in, throw Henderson in with him. They could do that.
Right.
But either way, Henderson called out Machida because what had happened was when Henderson was supposed to fight John Jones, and when Henderson got injured, so they pulled him out of the fight, and he never got the fight with John. No, it's not if you listen. But
I'm listening. It's a lot of things. Weidman's hurt. Machida was supposed to fight Weidman and John Jones and Dan Henderson.
Anyway, so Dan Henderson was going to fight John Jones. Dan Henderson gets injured, so they pull him out of the fight, and he never got that fight back because by the time he came back, he had to fight somebody else, lost, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Machida ended up stepping in and fighting John Jones. So Henderson's thing was, hey, you gave Machida my fight when I got injured and I lost my chance to beat John Jones for the title. Now Weidman gets hurt. Do the same thing. Give me Machida and I'll kick his ass and take his title fight.
Okay.
Same way he took mine.
So who's Hendo fighting next?
You just said yourself he's challenging Machida.
Right. But they're not.
They haven't decided. Well, I don't know. They haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
But as I understood it, the plan was to save Machida versus Weidman for UFC 175 in July. Now they need a new main event for 173.
Yes.
And it could be anybody.
Where's John Jones? He's still out?
John Jones is fighting UFC 172. He's fighting Glover Teixeira.
Okay. So
this was an old story
John Jones.
that I was telling about Henderson and Jones.
Okay, so Dan Henderson could headline UFC, the UFC in April.
Good.
It was supposed to be.
If UFC decides.
Who could step up to face Dan Henderson if they want Machida and Weidman still for... Who could...
Yeah. It's not like just because he called out Machida that he's now the main event of one.
Well, I'm just saying, but they could make him, if he's open, they're going to need a big name for that pay-per-view.
That they do.
So Dan Henderson would be a good idea if they want to push these other fights back. Dan Henderson is ready and able to do it. Who could Dan Henderson fight if they go that route?
I don't think there's anybody, really.
There's nobody.
No, nobody that's a big star, like who, you know. That's the other thing. He would have had to drop the 185 to do that fight with Machida because Machida isn't a 205er anymore.
Okay.
Let's get back to wrestling.
All right.
You want to take this call or what do you want to do?
That was a little complicated. I'm sorry. Yes, we can take it. Caller.
Go ahead.
Caller, you're live on WZR TV. What's up?
Hi. This is questions for Boone. I read his article about Pat Patterson being a good person. And I watched that whole Donahue show.
Yeah, what'd you think?
And holy crap, I had no idea. I'd never heard this story before. And it seems like pretty legit. Like there was something going on there with Pat Patterson and those two other guys.
Yeah, it was Pat Patterson and Terry Garvin. They're both gay executives that work in WWE, and they were like the main guys back in the day. I got to get you to watch it. It was a Phil Donahue show where they had Vince McMahon.
Phil Donahue.
They had Vince McMahon come on himself to defend. It was this big gay allegations that they were dealing with. Okay. And it was Vince McMahon.
What did you think of that chick at the end? That like wrestling's so tacky. Why does anybody even care? You remember her?
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. What he's referencing, I wrote a column. Is Pat Patterson a good person? Because I had just seen this Phil Donahue thing on YouTube that I hadn't seen in a while.
All right.
So I'm trying to think of ideas for columns, and I'm like, that was so long ago. People don't even remember that Pat Patterson had this big controversy. He was like forcing underage guys that work for WWE to blow him to get a job. Like he was, yeah, like suck my dick and I'll give you a job. Like no bullshit, Pat Patterson. So that's been so long that people don't even either don't know it or forgive it and forget it. That he's seen as this legend now. He's this genius, great finish guy, great.
Was this ever confirmed?
Yes.
I bet he is a great finish guy.
What's that?
I bet he is a great finish guy.
Yeah, he's a legend for what he does. But that's my point of the article was.
I think he was making a joke.
No, he is a girl. What do you mean?
Finish.
Oh, like finishing his mouth. Okay. Yeah,
but yeah.
But yeah, and then there's Mel Phillips.
So that's 100% confirmed that he used to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No shit.
He had to resign at the time over it, just to make it go away. And then once it went away, he came back, obviously. But
wow.
Yeah.
No shit. I didn't know that. I'm gonna go check that out.
He should straighten him out.
All right, thanks for the call, bro. I appreciate it. Guys, if you want to call up, it's 518-712-3070, 518-712-3070. We're going to get into some of these rapid-fire questions. Unless there was any big news over the past
I can't
week.
think of nothing off the top of my head.
No. Whatever you guys in the chat room, we're looking at the chat room, too. So if you guys have any questions or comments, give us a call. Let us know in the chat room. Caller, you're live on WZR TV. What's cracking?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm fan about the whole Undertaker and Brock thing, so just putting that out there. I liked it better this week. I thought, it's like what Boone said, though. I've seen that plenty of times, but we still got one Raw to go, so we'll see what happens. I actually had another question about what you guys thought. Shielded back Stephanie and HMA became... Right?
Your phone's cutting up a little bit, bro.
Oh, my fault. Well, the Shield, when they were doing the backstage segment with Triple H and Stephanie, and after they said what they had to say about Kane, they kind of, Roman Reigns ended it by saying, oh yeah, we will talk. And now, so I was thinking, do you guys think there's any chance that maybe they screw Triple H out of his match against Daniel Bryan, like the way it's saying, hey, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to screw you now, because after he said that, like, maybe this is... So I thought that maybe they could come out during the match and do something to just... What do you guys think about that?
I know what you're talking about. It was it was the backstage segment. It was the Shield and Triple H. Where Stephanie McMahon said something and then the Shield responded, or Stephanie said we'll talk. He's basically saying, could the Shield possibly screw Triple H out of that match? That would kind of set up, that would
complicated
screw.
They're fighting Kane, who's a corporate authority guy anyway, so he would be helping.
No, he's talking about the Shield screwing Triple H.
Yeah. But why would they screw one member of the authority and then beat the shit out of the other one?
Yeah, and then there would be tension between Stephanie McMahon.
Triple H. I got you.
Yeah, there would be tension if they did that. There would be tension between Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, which wouldn't make a lot of sense there. I think we're going to see the return of Vince McMahon. It's going to be Vince McMahon against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in a power struggle. They've had
Hunter and Steph arguing a lot lately. Maybe Steph sides with that daddy.
I don't think they have been. I mean, the whole thing last week on Raw was a big angle. They did
make up and kiss and all that.
They made it seem like they were arguing, but I think Vince is going to come back and say, "What the fuck are you guys doing to my company? I've been gone. This is what happens when I'm gone." And we've seen that time and time again. Vince comes back. What are you doing? I leave. I walk away, and this is what what I mean. And they left off. The last time we saw Vince on TV, it was him and Triple H, which were kind of feuding, right? And Stephanie McMahon was in the middle of the two of them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Caller, you're live on WZR TV. What's up? 442 area code. You're live.
I think it's me, guys.
What's up?
Me?
How you doing?
Hi, guys. First time I've actually been able to listen to the show live. Normally I'm asleep, as you can tell. I'm from the UK, so just want to say, great show. Really love it. Love what you guys do.
Thank you.
One thing that's really, really interesting to me, and you'll see me mention it numerous times, my profession is actually basically what the WWE Network is doing. And it really interests me as to the pay-per-view they've chosen to launch the network. Because essentially, in my view, if this goes tits up, they're basically signing a death warrant for the network straight away. So that's why I feel you're not going to see a lot of these pay-per-view companies in the US, especially, not drop in WWE until you see how the network happens. Because if the network fails, it could be the end of the network. And it's a very interesting stat as well to say that the MLB and NHL also use the same technology, and they're very wary about the numbers they release as to what the ratings are, especially around the playoff times.
It's gonna be very interesting, like you said, with the network. I mean, we'll see what happens with WrestleMania. Does the stream cut out during WrestleMania? Now, the main thing is not WrestleMania, but the shows after WrestleMania, where it would be Extreme Rules, like we talked about here in hour number 1, where how many people are going to order the network come WrestleMania. And then they're going to have a 6-month subscription. So for the next 6 months, they're going to get Extreme Rules. They're going to get all the pay-per-views for those 6 months. So they're going to be watching those pay-per-views on the WWE Network as compared to Dish Network or DirecTV, which you would assume that Dish Network, as far as Extreme Rules and DirecTV as well, they're going to see a huge drop in numbers as far as pay-per-view buy rates are concerned, because everybody's going to be watching on the WWE Network. So, is it even worth it for them to carry WWE? If everybody signs up to the WWE Network, WWE gets 100% full profit of all sales. Okay? So, the following months, is it even going to be worth DirecTV and Dish Network to carry these pay-per-views if only 50,000 people, or somewhere around that number, are ordering that, and they're only taking a like we said, whether it be a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split, whatever it is it even worth, for 50,000 or 40,000 pay-per-view buys, is it even worth it? Or is DirecTV and Dish Network going to say, you know what, screw it, we're not going to air your pay-per-views anymore, you guys just do it on the WWE Network, and shoot, if the WWE Network works for you, great, but if it doesn't, they're probably going to play hardball and say, don't come running back to us if the network fails.
I see what he's saying there too, but like he's saying, the choice to launch it with WrestleMania being the first pay-per-view,
right,
as opposed to doing a slow build, like, all right, let's have 5 or 6 B shows, and then SummerSlam or whatever, because they don't do that many in a row, but all right, let's have a couple pay-per-views. Slowly people sign up for this thing as we add more content, as we add more features, this and that.
Right.
By the time we get to Mania, bam, we get a big surge on top of this slow build that we gave time to build up before just launching it and going straight to Mania. And if it doesn't work for Mania, obviously they're not. If they didn't sign up for Mania, they're not signing up for No Way Out. They're not signing up for the. It's all or nothing, which is what my point was earlier about the gamble, like with WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 3, which we didn't get to live through. They're doing it now with this network by gambling, by doing WrestleMania as the first show, because if they don't get the amount of signups they need to break even on this, then, like he said, the network's done. Like, it's just gone. And that's kind of what happened with their Classics on Demand. Once they realized they weren't going to get a certain amount of subscriptions for that, they stopped putting money into it, stopped doing original programming, and just threw a couple things up here, a couple things up there, and who gives a shit? This network, if it doesn't work with Mania, if they don't get the amount of signups they need, because they chose to start with their big show as opposed to build to their big show.
Building up to the big show.
Yeah, if they don't get then they're fucked, and they pretty much. And then the second part of that is, like you said, if they can't live off this network for their pay-per-views, and they're really centering their whole business model around the success of this network, and if it doesn't work, they got to go back to the pay-per-view company.
And the pay-per-view companies,
now have them, that's what you were saying.
The pay-per-view
companies by the balls. 50-50 ain't good enough no more, Jack. I want 60-40.
They're going to come back and they're going to say,
they need them now.
They're going to say, you need us now. So like Boone said, this whole 50-50 split or whatever we have going on right now, no. Your network failed. Now you're running back to us because you need us to air your pay-per-views because your network failed.
You ain't making money.
We ain't doing the same deal that we had before, man. We're going to take a lot more money.
No other alternatives but to go through us.
You screwed yourself. They're basically going to say you screwed us with WrestleMania,
undercutting us,
and you went out and launched this network. You screwed us, and now you want to come back to us because your network failed. Now the ball's in our court. You know what I mean? So, anything else, bro?
Good point.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I was just going to add. I mean, like you're saying, as a fan, if I couldn't watch Extreme Rules, I'd be pissed off. As a fan, if I couldn't watch WrestleMania, I'd be fucked off.
Right. All right, man. Thanks for the call, dude. Get some sleep, man. It's late. It's late out there.
Mate, work calls. I'm currently working, but I'm listening to you guys. So great job. Keep up the show, and I'll always listen on demand.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man. Be good.
All right, mate.
All right. No, UK, not Australia. Mate is UK. No,
they all say mate. He just said it.
Okay, mate.
Yeah, he just said all right, mate.
I love the accent, though.
I love mate.
The accent.
I wonder where mate comes from.
Mate.
Where we come from, mating is like,
Mating's like...
That's mating.
That's animals.
Yeah,
animals
having
mate.
sex, yeah.
Right, animals do the...
Calling a friend a mate.
I love the accent. 518-712-3070. 518-712-3070. Load up rapid fire. Take some more live phone calls as well. You got it up. That boy.
I'm prepared.
Yes, you are.
All right, one guy keeps trying to call. I feel bad for him. He's called like 8 times.
65... Kelly, call back, brother. Kelly.
There he is. Call. What's up? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's happening? Listen, I haven't heard the show in about a month, so I got to my spring break. So I might ask you a question that you already answered 50 million times.
We thought you said fuck WZR and fuck Clark and Boone. I'm done, right? Where you been, brother?
Oh, college. I'm a senior now.
So, there you go.
Yeah. That's all right. So listen, you've been touched on 50 million times, but the question is, with the Sting situation, do you see him ever doing WWE or Jeff Jarrett's new promotion?
Who?
Down the road, you think?
You talking about who? CM Punk?
No, Sting.
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 I mean, listen, man. There was talks. Sting and WWE have definitely had talks. We know that. Sting's not a top priority for WWE. I think Sting is probably going to want to close out his career in WWE. Now, Sting did an interview a week or two ago where they flat out asked him, "Would you be interested in Jeff Jarrett's promotion?" He said, "I'd be open to it." So it's not like, Sting doesn't have his mind set on, I'm going to WWE and I'm not going anywhere else. If Jeff Jarrett,
I think he does whatever the best deal is. What's the best deal, most money for the least amount of work, least amount of traveling?
That's what it is.
I don't need WWE to make me a fucking star. I'm already a star.
I think the plan for Jeff Jarrett's new promotion, man, is you're going to have some bigger stars in there, no doubt. But the plan
Kurt Angle might be going.
Is to showcase these younger indie talents across the United States, guys that we really don't know much about. I mean, we've heard of some of them on the indie scene, this, that, and the other thing.
Hardcore fans will know them.
But, like Boone was saying, Kurt Angle, TNA contract expiring, does he go back to WWE? The problem with Kurt Angle and WWE, does he pass a WWE physical? And there are a lot of people that don't think Kurt would be able to pass a WWE physical.
Can Sting pass the physical? I've always questioned that.
Right, can Sting pass a WWE physical? Hulk Hogan, that's why Hulk Hogan's not getting physical. I mean, you saw a little something last night on Raw, but Hogan couldn't pass the physical, so he's not going to be wrestling in WWE. You're not going to see a Hulk Hogan match in WWE. Didn't pass the physical. Kurt Angle, I don't think he can pass the physical in WWE. And then Sting, like Boone said. So we'll have to wait and see, man. I mean, Jeff Jarrett's promotion, Kurt Angle's thinking about going there. I'm sure that Jeff Jarrett's going to reach out to Sting if they come to terms. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sting wind up there. But and WWE's had talks with him as well. So as of right now, it's up in the air. Callie, thanks for the call, brother. Caller, you are live. Oh, we missed him. We only have one phone line, guys. We're getting a lot of phone calls tonight. We're going to try to do as many rapid fire
what the hell is going on with the phone?
questions as we can. But 518-712-3070. Hit it.
Can you read that or what?
Can you make it a little bigger?
Yeah.
A little bit bigger. All right, here we go. Jason Hansen. Main event was great tonight. Some very good wrestling. At the start of the show, they acknowledged that Christian showed possible symptoms of a concussion, so they did a triple threat match for a shot at the IC title. Sheamus versus Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio. Awesome match. Ziggler won and faces Big E in the main event of the show, and another awesome match. Big E won, so he retains the title. Both
so they did the actual title match that same tonight too.
Same night they did both matches, right? I didn't know that either. So they shook hands after the match was over, and it was supposedly a really good WWE main event broadcast. Caller, you're live on WZR TV. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Great show again. I want to say, first of all, that match with Luke Harper and Cena last night was a great match, especially with the suicide dive from Harper and that clothesline from Cena that just had me like, damn.
That's a good point. Those are two cool-ass spots. Seeing Harper do a dive with his big ass.
With the whole storyline with Cena being scared of Bray Wyatt, could we finally see a change in Cena at WrestleMania or sometime after Mania?
A change as in what, like a heel turn, or?
Maybe not even of a heel turn, but just a different way of using his character.
Probably not. I mean, he seems like he's hell-bent on being who he is for the kids. I'm the hero guy, like Hogan. You know, if Hogan wouldn't have went to WCW, he would have always been Hogan. He would have never done NWO and WWE. I don't think that would have ever happened.
I think Cena's just going to be that guy, man, where he's always going to be Cena. They're always going to have him act like his normal self.
Still works,
you know. I mean, the guy's probably going to go heel at some point, dude. The guy's got years and years left. But as of right now, they're doing this storyline. Yeah,
I don't know if he's got years and years left.
You can love me, you can hate me, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah,
well, a lot of people are saying that he's in rough shape.
Yeah,
man,
I mean, shit, he's been going for a long time.
I think for right now, though, at least for the time being, Cena's going to be kept, you know, Cena, just the regular, you either love me or you hate me, and, you know, that's your choice. So, thanks for the call, bro. Appreciate it. Back to Rapid Fire.
Anthony Remy says, Seth Rollins, is he the next Jeff Hardy? In what way does he mean? What does he mean?
He's a great worker, man.
Is he going to be a drug addict?
Some of the stuff in Ring of Honor, man, back in the day, Seth Rollins is Tyler Black.
I see the connection. He's he's got the long hair, he's skinny, small, but he flies around and people up, you know, I get it.
I would say if anybody's going to be the next Jeff and Matt Hardy, follow the Young Bucks. They were in TNA at one point. They had a tryout. Generation Me. The Young Bucks, that's the next Hardy Boys.
Yeah, but they've already kind of had their chance, no?
In WWE, and they didn't shake Booker T's hand.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
I remember something with the handshake.
Emilio Manuel
Malave,
are you being into the Christian storyline? I think it's something. I think it's BS. Something is up. I mean, listen, they're saying that he had a concussion tonight on Main Event, that he suffered last night. Vince has never been high on Christian. We put an article up on the website detailing that earlier today. And, you know, there's talk that Christian, when his contract expires, may be on his way out of WWE. We'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Michael Benitez, how crazy do you guys think Vince McMahon would have gotten if CM Punk quit WWE on the go-home show to WrestleMania? What major changes do you think would have been made? He probably would have sued him if he had him scheduled for a match and he walked out before the show.
If he walked out and he had a match at WrestleMania, there would have been
that would have been
problems.
Big money and big advertising and big fucking a big spot. You know what I mean? And if he didn't show up or went home, he would have definitely sued him. I think he would have had to have sued him. Shit.
Yeah. John Morgan, what's the deal with Brodus Clay? Man, same thing. What's the deal with Titus O'Neil? What's the deal with Damian Sandow? What's the deal with all these guys where they start these pushes and then boom, nothing. Haven't seen or heard anything from Brodus.
He's been doing house shows still, I think.
He's doing house shows, and
they just don't like him, I guess. I don't know.
They haven't. It just hasn't been used, man. It's one of those, you know, you start something and then
doesn't get over the way you like, and you drop it. Fuck it. We'll come up with something.
You got to give it more than a week or two to try to get itself over. You
Especially
know what I mean?
when you got 3 hours. I don't see how they don't have time for new stories and new angles, new characters. You know,
it's crazy.
Paul Velasquez says, enjoying what they're doing with top storylines, especially with Lesnar, Taker, Bray Wyatt, Cena. But a bit off topic, is there a force within the heavyweight division that can dethrone the champion Cain Velasquez? He's talking about UFC. Also, thoughts on Alistair Overstrain ducking JDS. He had no rib injuries, calling out Lesnar, but started shitting bricks when White offered him JDS in a 5 and 3 round fight. Yeah, I mean, that's the feeling in the MMA world is he ducked Junior Dos Santos.
Over him,
yeah. Because he was calling out Brock after he beat Frank Mir. I hope this doesn't get too complicated here for you. He beats Frank Mir, and in the post-fight interview, hey, I have a Brock Lesnar. I hear there's rumors you're coming back. I'll kick your ass again, blah, 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 blah. And they say, well, how about we give you Junior Dos Santos? He said, oh, my ribs hurt. I can't fight.
Oh, really?
I'm like, well, your ribs didn't hurt when you were calling out Lesnar.
So this was recent?
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Very recent.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. No doubt. Let's see. James Lehman. So after Mark Henry's botch job on the pre-show at the last pay-per-view, that was terrible, bro. Remember that shit? Has he been put to the pasture, or are they going to do a vignette for his return, only to have him get destroyed by somebody else and then put on the shelf for another 4 months? You know, Henry said in a recent interview...
probably on his way out.
He said he's got a couple more years left.
I thought he said he wanted to be out in 2 years or
He said 2 or 3 years. He said he's got 2 or 3 years left. But
I read it the other way. Like, I've only got 2 or 3 years left, you know, like at best.
Right, but
we
haven't seen Henry. Henry wasn't on Raw last night, right?
Last time we saw him was when Lesnar trashed him, I think.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
And that comes on the heels of that pay-per-view disaster, man.
That was after or before?
Was it after? That's what I'm asking.
I think it was after.
It was after?
Yeah, because it was when they were starting the Taker thing. They had Lesnar beat the shit out of Henry that night.
Trying to make Lesnar look like a beast,
yeah.
You know, by defeating somebody along the lines of...
Christopher Brown says 2 quick things. 1, based on what we saw from Taker and Lesnar last night, what are the odds of them adding the stipulation of a casket match for the WrestleMania match? I don't think they're going to do that. I think if they were going to do a gimmick with that match, they would have announced it a lot long before 1 week before the show.
The tagline for that, they announced it last night. It was the Beast. Is it the Beast versus the Streak or something like that?
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's got a new T-shirt and it says "Eat, Sleep, and the Streak."
Yes.
So maybe something like that.
Sam
McLaughlin. Oh my lord! All right.
I think it's McLaughlin.
The WWE Network. I have tried to find numbers for key MLB NHL playoff games, but as far as I can see, neither company releases those. MLB, NHL do not seem to have stream dropping issues, but the quality will drop down to non-high definition, and the network is based on the same tech. 2-part question. We're finally getting to the question.
A little background.
Do you expect to see pay-per-view providers make their decision based on how well WrestleMania works? I think they're going to see WrestleMania. They're going to see that the numbers are still fairly high, like 250,000, but they're expecting, in previous years, they would get 1 million or 1 point, whatever it was. This year, they're going to see a huge drop because everybody's going to go to the network. The following pay-per-view on Extreme Rules, I think they're gonna air WrestleMania, and then they're gonna air Extreme Rules. When they see the numbers for Extreme Rules and they come in unbelievably low, I think they're gonna say there's no need for us to carry WWE pay-per-views because everybody come WrestleMania night went and signed up for the network, and these people are now watching the pay-per-views on the WWE Network. So.
We'll say that again. All right, so if it's $69.95 per pay-per-view, and they sell 300,000, let's say.
Okay.
That's what? 20 million? 20.9 million? Wait, 3, and then 2. Okay, so yeah, that'd be $21 million.
$21 million.
So I think that's the reason they're still doing WrestleMania is even though it's not 1 million buys like they're used to, even if they do 300,000 buys, that's still $21 million.
They would still get 10, 11 million.
That's still a nice payoff. So like, well, all right, well let's make $10 million and then say fuck you because Extreme Rules and all these other shows are only going to do 50,000 maybe because they're normally doing. Let's say they expect half of what they normally get.
Right.
So if half or a third in this case of Mania is still $21 million, that's still a good payday. Now half of a fucking B show which does 120,000, 140,000, whatever, that's only. It's not worth it.
It's $21 million total, but then they would have to split that.
My point is, it's still a nice payoff.
It's a great payoff.
Yeah, like, but the other pay-per-views, is it worth allowing WWE to undercut us, which puts us at the risk of UFC and boxing doing that to us too, and then we lose all the fucking money there. We gotta, all right, let's get this WrestleMania payoff, and then fuck you, WWE. You're out of here.
It's a us versus you mentality, and they're basically
it's a chess game.
It's a chess game, and if WWE fails with the amount of signups that they want at WrestleMania, and then the pay-per-view providers wind up dropping pay-per-views, and WWE, say a year from now, has to come running back to these pay-per-view providers and say, hey, our network didn't work for pay-per-views. We'll probably still have the network, but we're going to have pay-per-views. The cable companies are going to say, you're coming back to us, we're setting the standards now. If you don't like it, too bad.
You tried to undercut us. Now you're coming back because you
bad.
need us. You have no other alternatives, so guess what?
Right.
50-50 ain't good enough no more.
And the second question is, with all this Coach WWE talk when JBL and Cole go mountain climbing, can you see Coach doing a few guest appearances on Raw, or will we be given Renee Young, Jerry Lawler, and Josh Matthews? Are they going to be away from television when they go mountain climbing?
I don't know anything about that deal.
I'm not sure. Caller, you're live on WZR TV. What's up?
Hey, I have two questions. Do you think that they'll ever air like house shows on a network? And do you think it's a good idea for them to charge $10 for 12 pay-per-views in the long run? Won't they be losing money if you think about it?
They're going to lose money, right? But if
those are two really, really good questions.
If they have over 1 million people, it kind of balances itself out in a way. Not all the way to what they were making, but if they get 2-3 million subscribers, the $10, if everybody's paying that $10 per pay-per-view, or $60 or whatever it is for 6 months, it's going to eventually balance itself out. Right now they're losing money, but when they reach that 2 million, 3 million subscribers that they eventually want worldwide,
I heard his question differently. I heard him say, should they cut the number of pay-per-views? Because now if they got the network, whereas before they did 12 pay-per-views a month because you build the one big show a month. That's your big payoff every month. Now, with the network, if you're subscribed, you could do one pay-per-view a year. You're still got that same amount of money because if you're subscribed, you're subscribed. Doesn't matter if you do a pay-per-view at the end of every month or not.
Right.
But I think they should still do it because you want to build to something big at the end of every month because in the same way that certain people bought certain pay-per-views before the network, like, oh, this angle, I'm attracted to this angle, I'm going to pay to see it culminate at this pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. If you can do that on the network, all right, well, now you're getting people to subscribe to something that they're going to be committing 6 months to, and you're boosting your subscription numbers.
Right.
So you still want to give every chance to your network to drive people to it and sign up for it.
Right.
And if you decrease the number of pay-per-views, you're decreasing the amount of opportunities you have to lure people into signing up to it.
Okay.
The second part was the house show thing. He said, should they broadcast house shows live on the network? And I say no, because then you don't need to go buy the ticket to go to the show because you can just sit at home and watch it.
That's true. House shows are also done as a test run for pay-per-views and for television tapings. They do a lot of testing to see how the crowd reacts to this match and this angle and this promo, and then they run with it on Raw. They tweak it a little bit and then run with it.
But the big thing with house shows is the only way I can see what happens at them is if I buy a ticket.
Right.
If I could just click a button in my couch, in my living room, and see what happens instead of spending money driving there and doing all this and that, then
it'd be a cool feature to add to the network.
I would watch them.
Different. I would watch house shows, no doubt, but not anytime soon.
I don't think they'd be allowed to either. But whatever.
Yeah.
Abe Ross says thoughts on Nux return to TNA and his new character this past Thursday on Impact Wrestling.
I didn't see it.
Didn't see it either.
Nux is Mike Knox.
Mike Knox.
Yeah, right. John Morgan again. Any word on Stone Cold's role at WrestleMania 30, or if he's even going to have a role?
Probably no role.
Probably not going to be there. At least, he may be in town for access festivities and things like that.
Hall of Fame.
I don't think he's going to appear on the show. Never say never. They could have him as a surprise type deal, but
that's true. They could do a surprise. I was gonna say if you got him, you better advertise him because you got people. It's a network shit. You want to give them every reason to fucking.
No doubt.
If you're sitting on something like Austin, I don't want to surprise people. I want to make sure they're buying it.
But how cool if nobody was expecting him and then the glass breaks and out.
Well, because he's not really a selling point either. What can you do with it? He's not doing a match, so I want to pay to see Austin sitting in the crowd.
Right.
But if all of a sudden you're watching and he just pops out, cuts a quick promo,
have Daniel Bryan win the title and then the glass breaks and Austin comes out and they have a beer match. They have a beer
Don't
match.
take away from Bryan's moment.
No, because you're gonna have Daniel Bryan out there and the show's gonna go off the air. Daniel Bryan holding the title up and the whole crowd, 80,000 people.
If that's the last thing you don't see when you click fucking exit or cancel, whatever, you can turn it off.
Dude, I'm telling you,
there's gonna be some unhappy cancers.
WrestleMania will end. I'll say it this week. It has to end. Daniel Bryan holding the title. 80,000 people, yes, with the pyro exploding outside the building, and we fade the black. That's how WrestleMania
You finally got your moment. Here's your champ. Here's your big celebration.
80,000 people.
3 more quick ones, and we got to get out of here.
Jose
Luis, will The Rock's Hercules movie surpass the chaperone ticket sales?
Oh, my God.
Yes. I think that Hercules movie is going to be huge.
It
seems like it's going to be a big one.
Vincent Nugent, what do you guys think about Angelina Love and Velvet Sky reuniting finally this Thursday night on TNA Impact Wrestling? Let me tell you something. I saw the two of them. Angelina Love comes out. She's going back and forth with Velvet Sky saying, I think we should reunite. We should get back together. And Velvet says, no, I don't really think we should. I've kind of branched off my own. And Angelina says, well, I just want to say, it's good to see you again. This was the worst promo stick I've ever seen between. No, there's been a lot of shit between Divas and Knockouts and promo segments and things like that. This was atrocious last week on eBay. It was bad. Angelina Love, yeah, she's back, but it's not the same Angelina Love. There's something different with her face.
She gets a lot of plastic surgery.
Something's different, and it's not in a good way with Angelina Love.
I was going to say, I didn't see any of it.
It's not good.
And I don't know anything about anything, but I do know this. If there's one diva or knockout that can give AJ Lee a run for her money when it comes to best ass in the business,
Velvet Sky.
It's Velvet Sky, man. That girl's got a crazy pooper. I mean, it's nice. It's fucking I want to eat salad out of it or something.
Cat Ambrose.
And I don't even eat salad. They announced a big match for the WWE Tag Titles at Mania tonight. Los Matadores versus Rybacks versus Usos versus Real Americans.
Talked about that.
Question: what's with all these trolls on both of your pages bashing you guys? It ruins it for the WZR. I didn't know there were.
There's people on the comment section.
Listen, if you got haters, that means you made it.
I guess so, man. There's people on the comment section. They bash. The site sucks. I suck. I'm a terrible reporter. We get everything wrong, and we're never right, and all the stuff we report is bullshit. Listen, there's going to be haters at everywhere. Whether you go to TMZ.com, whether you go to CNN.com, wherever you go, there's always going to be people that are going to say you suck. You're terrible, you get everything wrong, but those same people are still going to come back, read the website. I think they do it because they want the attention. Does it offend me? No. I kind of laugh at it, man. It's kind of funny to just see what they say. But it's always going to be those trolls that are around, and they're going to be there. We ban them when they can't. If send me an email, webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com. Are they on WZROnline.com? Where are they? Let me know. I'll go check it out. If they're being racist and stuff like that, then we gotta get rid of them.
See, that's your reaction to haters. You know what my reaction is?
You don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. I can give two shits if you don't like me, man. Get fucking whatever.
I can't stand you, but I gotta work with you.
There you go.
With you every Tuesday night.
Some people don't have a choice. You're one of them. You gotta deal with it.
That's Tuesday night, brother.
That's Tuesday?
That's Tuesday.
Not the most energetic edition.
No, but there was a lot of
pretty good.
A lot of news, a
lot of discussion, a lot of calls.
The network and the pay-per-view providers.
We got into that finally.
We got all the rapid fire. A lot of phone calls. WZR Army, we love you. Until next Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time, WZROnline.com. Stay tuned to the website. It's going to be a busy, busy week. We want your feedback as well. Boone puts it up on his Facebook page. I put it up on my Facebook page. Facebook.com/MattBoomWZR, Facebook.com/RyanClarkWZR. We're going to put a feedback post up. We want you guys to submit some stuff here. So let us know what we can do better, what you didn't like. How do you do it?
You let us know what you liked, we'll do more of it. Let us know what you didn't like, we'll do less of it. Yes. This is how we customize this show for you.
This guy right here.
These great fans. Which, by the way, I do care if you like me. Please like me. Please tell me how much you like me. No, I don't give a fuck. That's Tuesday, though.
That's Tuesday, brotr.
All right.
I'm Matt Boone.
Me.
Ryan Clark.
Him.
See you next Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time on WZROnline.com.